I know this past year's been tough with Isaac, but I feel that he's redeemed himself.
Take it off!
Are you kidding me?
Okay, we need to lay down some ground rules.
Acknowledged.
If we're together, that means just you and me.
I have a very important inquiry for you. Will you marry me?
Hello and welcome. I am Anti-Derivative Jill, and this is Indefinite Lunch in Infinite Combinations, number 24. Today I'm joined with Pop Culture Curator and Tiger Stripes to
Hey, you
review...
guys.
Hello. To review the Orville Season 3, Episode 10, Future Unknown. So we reviewed all the Orville 1 and 2, and now Season 3 is at the end. So I want to thank you guys for going along this journey with me.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And
Yeah, happy to be here.
And I'm excited to start reviewing the original series and animated series starting next week, Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to have a Monday show showing the reviewing the animated series on Pop Culture Curator's channel and the original series on mine.
I always considered, at least in my personal opinion, that the animated series was their 4 and 5, the 4th and 5th year of their mission.
I agree. It's a 5-year mission, and the animated series completes it. So, speaking of you, Pop Culture, I'd like to remind everyone to subscribe to Pop Culture Curator. The link should be actually the bot finally worked today. The difference,
you, Jill.
I need to tell Raymond to mute the bot and unmute it, and then unjoin it and rejoin it because that worked.
Okay, that explains why I couldn't get it to work on my channel as well.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
So mute and unmute and link and unlink?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I was just messing around, and that seemed to work.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Yeah, I'm great. It's really nice.
Okay. Well, today we review Season 3, Episode 10, Future Unknown. We will have a spoiler review, so before we begin, we'll show a countdown for those who still need to see the episode. So without spoiling it, at first I loved the episode, then I kind of hated it, and then I kind of fell somewhere in between. So here we have a very sweet, character-based bottle episode of the Orville to cap the season with. It was a little bit frivolous, a little bit off-putting, a little bit sweet, a little bit unproductive, but still good-hearted. So I'm all over the place on this one. So if anyone out there is expecting me to eviscerate it or love every minute of it, both will be disappointed. So we'll see. So without spoilers, what do you think, Pop Culture?
It was okay. I watched it. I'm sorry about the delay. I was unmuting, but I watched it last night. It was okay.
That's actually high praise from Pop Culture Curator. Tiger Stripes, what did you think?
I gave it an A. I liked it very much. I love a good bottle episode. Some of my favorite episodes of Old Trek are bottle episodes, Tribbles, Babel. So it was good. I enjoyed it. I have a few quibbles here and there, the same things I've kind of been mentioning all season long, but I enjoyed it very much.
Great. And I'd like to say hello in the chat too. We had today Matt G, Grilla's Random Thoughts, Lord Thoth, and also just joining us is Raymond Feliciano. He's working but listening. Lord Thoth said, I thought this was the third best episode of the season. I gave it a B-. There were some issues I had, but a good, warm-hearted story. Hey, that's very similar to my review, but I guess I'll save that for the end for me. And So, this episode first aired on August 4th, 2022. It was written by Seth MacFarlane and directed by John Kaysar, with music done by Joe McNeely. So, for those who would like to avoid spoilers for this episode, please put it in your watch later, because we're about to spoil the whole thing. And I have my spoiler alert somewhere. There it is. All right. Now we're safe. So the episode begins with Isaac beginning his rounds and engineering.
To a very old school loungy song.
Yes. While Henry Mancini's Bachelor in Paradise is playing.
Yeah,
that was
Henry
Mancini.
Right, the same one they were playing the record earlier in the season when they were playing that LP. And I told you he did the theme for the Pink Panther.
All right. That's awesome. He takes the time to bring Claire a banana. So that comes up here. Yeah, there's the banana. This is a reference to a happy refrain when he began to bring her one because he noticed her mood. He noticed that her mood went down when she skipped a meal. It's a simple and easy portable meal. So he ends up on the bridge reporting.
The transfocal scanner array is online and undergoing final collimation.
Here, Isaac gives our word for the day, collimation, which means the accurate adjustment of the line of sight of a telescope. So this is really just this telescope subplot is really just a device to divert to the real story they want to tell. And here we learn that Bortus and Clyden are going to renew their wedding vows now that Clyden has returned and has had a change of heart. So since Moclans has disbanded from the Union, the renewal ceremony will be on another planet called Lysdak 2. And this is a new Moclan ceremony we're learning about called the Commencement Rite of Kazgal, the renewal of mating vows. Bortus describes it like this.
Clyden will flee into the forest. Shortly after, I will follow in pursuit. If I catch him, we will share the sexual event there among the trees. Our mating vows are thus formally renewed and sanctified in the eyes of Moclan tradition. So,
Moclans in general do many things very violently, so this pretend sexual assault actually kind of makes sense. But it's still a little bit weird, a little bit disturbing. But on the other hand, it tracks for a species who murders the other in order to carry out a divorce. But, I still like Deloja better. The only real purpose, it seems, to do this is so that you can have Ed officiating a ceremony at the beginning of the episode and at the end. And so it follows in that way described. But they're also not only dressed in thongs in order to complete the ritual. Bortus also chases Clyden. So they do that. And Clyden throws a rock at Bortus.
If I may, I was just curious, continuity reasons. I guess now Clyden has super strength?
Yes, now he's strong, whereas before...
Yeah, he was very weak.
Kelly
so
could
I
take
thought
him down.
That was odd. Yeah, Kelly took him down easily. I thought that was odd.
But,
anyway, go ahead.
I always told myself that was leverage. But anyway. And then Bortus catches Clyden. And that's that. And when they return, just when you think the scene should be over, Gordon's just standing there and does an awkward golf clap. Because what else do you do when you're invited to essentially stand outside a honeymoon suite?
There was a long, awkward pause there before somebody started clapping.
The whole
I think it
thing
was
is awkward
Gordon.
to me.
Yes. Awkward pause. And Ed's look is slightly pained. And, you know, that's kind of been his default expression all season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he tried to change it at the end there when Gordon started clapping, but you're right. That was a good observation.
Well, it's all through the episode. It's just such a difference from his demeanor in the previous seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Seth in an interview said that season 3 could be summed up in one word as coexistence.
Right.
And it makes me wonder if he's referring to compromises inflicted on him by the studio.
Well, that's what I thought, yeah.
He's just got that puss on all the time, but
that is a very brilliant theory.
It's just a dart at a board, but
But Pop Culture Curator has said very similar things, so you guys have to be onto something there.
Well, I think for example, we've been watching this as it's been playing out, other than the delay from the lockdowns. But if you, like, let's say somebody who's never seen this before, and 10 years later, you decide to sit down and binge watch, I think you would notice a big difference in the shift of tone between seasons 1, 2, and then when 3 begins. I think it would be very noticeable, even more so. But that's just my opinion. Sorry, you guys still there?
I'm here, yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Gorilla's Random Thought says, I wanted to go full Isaac from episode 1 during the first 8 minutes, but then it got okay. And Gorilla also says, I rated it lower because it came off the high praise from the high from the previous episode. Yeah, the Domino was great. I agree. And he continues, I did tinkle a little bit from laughing so hard at the 400 trips. Yeah, we'll get there. And didn't need any more Sinatra music. Too much this season.
Sinatra.
Oh, all right, great. So like I said, the scanner array telescope is kind of in the background. It's just a means to an end to get to where they want to go in the story. So it's kind of ignored a bit. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing because I want to see what the scanner's scanning and what it's doing, what they're searching for. But then they have this meeting with Halsey about getting closer to Sargus 4 because that's where their scientists are.
Might I recommend you not send Commander Lamar this time?
Trust me, sir, he does not want to see Sargus 4 again as long as he lives.
So the whole thing is just disconnected and set as unimportant to the main story that all we know is that they sent another team to Sargus 4, even though they already lost crew the last time they sent a science team there. In majority rule, one officer died and the other became essentially brain dead due to a lobotomy. And they're going back to this planet for scientific research and communication. Couldn't they find a place that doesn't threaten Lamar with brain damage? So they don't explain why they have to return to this world except as a means to enter in communication range with Lysella. That's basically the only reason they're here. She was the woman from Majority Rule, whom the Orville interacted with directly. That was such a wonderful episode, and my second favorite next to New Dimensions. It was an episode about the Orville conducting studies on a developing world and finding that it's essentially become like a Twitter kind of planet, where its justice system is based on canceling people. And it was an amazing, unique, and thoughtful episode. That way,
your social score.
yes, it had the little up and down vote badges, and that way you could properly explain the origins of the story so that the episode were more self-contained. But I just wanted a bit more of this story. This one actually sounded like it would be a fun science fiction story to go back. Why are we going back to this planet? There's a good enough reason. What's that reason? Tell me.
I have no idea.
No, nobody knows. It wasn't explained.
Sometimes when the boss says jump, you do not ask why.
Yeah, I guess so. And that's why Ed has such a sour look.
Or when the script calls for it.
So we move to the isometrics lab with Isaac, and he's looking at these wonderful displays. I really do like the displays this season. The L-cars, if you will. But what subject does he choose to study? Well, he's studying anthropology, human mating rituals. Bortus and Clyden's renewal inspired him to form a stronger connection with Claire. So after a careful study of Earth culture, he decides to propose. So this is the end of the teaser. One relationship to the next with a teeny bit of vague scientific study, which is never expounded upon. Maybe the couples in this episode pine for each other, but I kind of want some of that science. But it is an afterthought, and Isaac's proposal does make me happy. I mean, because it's been building up since the Happy Refrain. So my original notes from my first watch through do say that, do corroborate with that. So there's the title. After the opening credits, Claire questions
the title of the show, Future Unknown.
Yes.
It kind of makes you wonder if it's a reference to the show being renewed.
Yeah, right. They don't know.
Yeah.
And if if Seth is being controlled too much by the studio in a way he doesn't like, this is probably it.
I agree.
So, after the opening credits, Claire questions Isaac's intentions. He claims... What does he claim?
By calculating courtship duration averages for biological life forms, cross-referenced with your current age, I have determined that this is an appropriate time for us to formalize our coupling.
So he references her age as a factor, and that...
She does look considerably older than from season 1 and 2. I think the 3 years of the lockdown, sort of. Because she's naturally aged. So I thought that was strange that they put that in there.
Yeah, they bring it up. They bring it up so that she can also respond by saying that she will age and eventually her life will expire while his continues on indefinitely.
Right.
So in response to this, he promises to look after Ty, Marcus, and any children they might have for as long as the Finn family continues. So there is that mild science fiction aspect of what life after death would look like if you marry a robot or android, and the strictly logical benefits that it could mean for your family. So, you know, if you're willing to give up the passion and love and all that.
Well, that's the same idea from Ray Bradbury's The Electric Grandmother. Is they said that she's needed when the children are young and growing up, but then she's perpetual, so that she'll always be there for kids in the future, even after she's no longer needed.
Oh yeah, I think there was also a Twilight Zone episode too, like that.
That was the Twilight Zone episode. The Electric Grandmother.
I
Okay,
Sing the Body Electric.
Yeah, it was based on I Sing the Body Electric, but for the TV show they called it The Electric Grandmother.
Oh, okay, great. So Ray Bradbury wrote for Twilight Zone. That's pretty cool. And I get that's why they gave Isaac emotions for a couple of minutes during that Hallmark subplot in the From Unknown Graves episode. But Claire loves Isaac with or without these emotions. So I'm not against the subplot. I just think it drags a little bit this episode. But it is sweet at the same time.
Everybody loves a wedding.
Right?
Well, Jill, which part of this episode would you consider the subplot?
Well, this is the main plot.
But yeah,
Isaac
that's
getting
what
married is the main plot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The
Okay.
subplot.
That's what I thought. Okay.
The subplot is
The technology.
Lysella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And the basement plot is the telescope. The telescope got us to the planet.
Those chairs are right out of POS.
Yeah. So Claire hasn't made her decision. So she's discussing it with Tala and Kelly. But the best part of this scene is when Claire shows that she's learned her lesson from the terrible way she treated Isaac from Unknown Graves, where she told him she couldn't be happy unless he got the emotions upgrade from the scientist who is visiting.
And notice they're drinking alcohol again.
Yes, they are. She says, wouldn't we all be happier if we just accept people for what they are instead of being disappointed with them for what they're not? So, at the very least, she learned her lesson from that episode. And so that's good. Then Ed arrives. I guess I didn't get a picture of him because I got this instead.
With his carefully composed face.
Mm-hmm. I can't. My mouse is not working. Here we go. And he ends up having some good advice to Claire that she should talk to her children about it.
You've been useful, Soberman. You may go now.
How nice.
Yeah. Anyway. And they're back on the bridge on their way to Sargus 4 for whatever scientific mission regarding a telescope they are performing. And I'm clipping this for a friend who loves Gordon, who he's going to be watching this later. And this is a wholesome moment for him that reminds me of how Lieutenant Dan wanted music in the elevators.
You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
Yep. And at this point, let's see what we got going here. Oh, of course, the bot stops working when King Dolphin gets here. Stopped again. So at this point, the Orville receives a message from the planet from Lysella, who had somehow stolen a comm scanner all those years ago. She wants out of her Twitter world, and I can't really blame her. It's a wonder the people of this world put up with it. The Orville agrees to pick her up. Since she's been on the ship already, her upvote, downvote from the planet is still positive rather than negative. So she has been able to navigate her world herself, but her problem is she's seen too many friends and family get lobotomized and canceled and everything. Yeah, so that's still going on. My mouse is acting really funky.
Oh. I was kind of wondering, given what happens later in the episode, is she playing the long game here? Is she lying right from the get-go? Does she already have her intentions formed? When she says, "I've never stolen anything else in my life," that just rang false for me. This is the kind of thing people say when they have stolen everything in their life.
That is a good theory. I don't know. I didn't realize she was going to steal anything until she started marveling at it and started feeling guilty. Like, okay, then I knew for sure she was going to steal. But
Okay,
before
so
I
it
didn't
could be
see it.
character development.
That too. That's what I see. But you could also be correct.
I don't.
But you don't know that much about her, so
No.
that's why you could be right. So she says that they can't come together unless they see someone, unless they're targeting somebody. And rescuing her from that life is very sweet on the surface of it, but they very quickly agree to let her stay. This is an uncharacteristic move because they usually contact the union for something like that. And then here's another Gordon part that helps break away from a bit of the drama.
Hey, John. The captain wants you to join the Sargus 4 landing party.
What? I'm totally messing with you. Oh.
And then we're back. We're right back to the drama, though, when Lamar gives Isaac advice. I don't know why he's giving him this advice, like right after he proposes. but shouldn't you marry around? Shouldn't you date around first, or something like that? I don't know.
He says, without sampling what's out there, like it's a big candy box.
Yeah. And of course, Isaac takes it seriously and literally. Then the same storyline continues, where Claire is taking Ed's advice and talking to Ty and Marcus, who already know that Isaac has proposed. Marcus was very upset with Isaac's role in Identity Parts 1 and 2 during the very first episode. So they
I
do
am happy we got to see her two children at least one last time. I was happy for this scene.
Yeah, me too. So they do take a brief moment here for Marcus to express that he believes that Isaac has redeemed himself. So I'm glad that they remembered their plot line and wrapped that up. And the kids approve that because they already knew about the proposal, so that was not news to them.
I thought Marcus was really good in this, the actor. He's really become a young man.
Yeah, he has. And he was really good in the first episode, too.
Yes, he's always been good, but some people don't grow into the adulthood as actors. And I just thought he was perfect here.
That's a good point. A lot of child actors don't stay actors after being children.
Mm-hmm.
But I see Marcus continuing acting. And here, oh, I didn't write anything about it, but Claire says yes here. And so immediately after saying yes, Isaac goes straight to Kelly.
I wish to become intimate with you. If you are unoccupied, may we go on a date, followed by sexual conjugation?
Pretty good. How are you?
And of course, Kelly refuses that, and Isaac continues to explain.
Commander Lamar has informed me that by limiting my romantic interconnectivity and coital deployment to a single individual, I may in fact be jeopardizing the success of the matrimony.
So, Kelly advises that this really isn't always the case, and of course goes and tells Claire what Isaac has done. But before she does that, they cut back to Lysella's B-plot, which is their main attempt at science fiction in this episode. And Kelly has taken up the mantle of caring and guiding for Lysella into the 25th century. And Lysella actually has a good question. If all of a person's material needs are met by the matter synthesizer, why does anyone do anything? And Kelly's answer is that everyone finds something useful to do for their reputation, and that is the reward. So then Lysella asks about what they do for fun, which will eventually lead Kelly to show her the main outlet of entertainment on the ship, the environmental simulator. I also found it interesting that the Union's path to the future was the invention of the matter synthesizer instead of the quantum drive, like how it is with Star Trek, where it all started with warp drive.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And one thing that can definitely be said for this show is amazing production and alien design. I certainly
K&B effects.
Yeah, they do a great job. What was their name again?
K&B effects.
K&B.
It was founded by a gentleman named Greg Nicotero. He worked a lot with George Romero, like in Dawn of the Dead movies, and he also worked with The Walking Dead, among others.
Oh, very cool. One day I'll remember that. He doesn't really do anything, but he's there. The real reason for this scene, though, is for Finn to ask Grayson to be her maid of honor. And she agrees and informs Claire that Isaac tried to ask her out. So Claire is then forced to confront Isaac about this, telling him that getting married to her means a commitment to just her and not anyone else in the crew.
Kelly often interjects herself immediately into personal situations, just like a shot. She projects her ability to deal with stress onto others, I think. She doesn't hold back.
Well, I would go as far as to say she does not know when not to mind her own business.
There's a fine line in there, and she just jumps right over it every time.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially
this season
between Clyde and Borden and Topa, I thought. But
yeah, Topa tell to for sure. Yeah, she became a surrogate parent there, and yeah.
And we know now officially that this is the end of the season. They never dealt with her alcoholism.
No, they didn't. No, it was just a joke. It was not meant. It was always a joke, but it wasn't. It wasn't as prominent as it was this season.
I do feel like the insertion of the alcohol-based humor is just sort of a substitute for actually developing some character humor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's my gut.
No,
it's
I wouldn't
an
argue
easy
that.
out. I'm sorry, Pop
I
Culture?
think so.
I wouldn't argue that. I agree.
And hello in the chat to Paula Beater Gamer. And hello to Lenrod. Hey, Lenrod. Mega Cropper says it's woke on steroids. Don't know.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, well, there you go. Pop Culture backs you up there.
Yeah, I just learned to accept it.
Chat's dead, Paula Beater. I kind of noticed. Well, it's because I started early. It's my fault. I wanted to start early, just in case. And so Linrod said, I had to rate this episode high simply because they followed through with the sandwich. Yes, they did. And hello in the chat to Dog451. I'm annoyed with myself that I missed the start of the stream. No, that's okay. It's all my fault. I started early. I want to start my streams earlier so I have more time. So this is the new time for the show. And Paula Veeder said, it's all good. Loving the commentary. And hello to Hakeem. So, even though no one exactly tells her, she figures out that it was Lamar who planted this idea in Isaac's head.
Isaac doesn't tell her here? I feel like he does.
I looked in the transcript and he doesn't.
Okay.
He tells Kelly, and Kelly tells Claire that Isaac tried to date her, but that's it. But maybe she told her off screen.
Or maybe she assumed because Lamar is a little more, just you could say, promiscuous.
Yeah, right. Just like in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when Ilia meets Captain Kirk, and instead of greeting him like a normal person, she's like, "I have taken my vows celibacy," like just instantly.
Yes. Rest in peace versus Kambata.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, she passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Well, she'll always be with Beecher. And so assuming that, she gets after Lamar here.
If you ever again give Isaac a single tidbit of personal advice, even if it's about what cologne to use, I will come down here and I will eat your little punk ass for breakfast with a glass of grapefruit juice.
Well, there that is. And now Kelly is showing Lysella the environmental simulator. And I like this kind of fish out of water stuff. This is always fun. And I really like this scene. It's probably my favorite scene out of the whole episode. And Kelly shows her a simulation of the inside of Mel Meary's asteroid in the plankton system. The plankton? Not plankton. So it's a beautiful scene here. And that's why I made it my title card. The asteroid has underground water with semi-transparent surface points. It's pretty lovely.
It is very pretty. The whole thing's sort of Maxfield Parrish.
Maxfield Parrish? What's that?
The artist.
Oh, the artist. I have to look him up.
Just in terms of the colors and the translucency.
Mm-hmm. And it's not only teeming with life, but life so intelligent that they've joined the Union. So I like it when that kind of life comes around.
You probably won't see one serving aboard a ship because they can't leave their environment. But they're actually some of the best mathematicians in the galaxy.
So those are the Cavalids. They're finding life different from Mars, whom we can communicate and work with, even when they can't really go anywhere. That's wonderful stuff. I would have liked to see more of this episode. Not only this episode, but this entire season. It would have been nice to meet more aliens like this. And I liked hearing that they communicate similar to dolphins. So everybody remember to please subscribe to King Dolphin TV since the bot's not working for me. I'll say it out loud.
It's an iron silicate core laced with radioactive isotopes. Heat from radioactive decay is what keeps the interior of the asteroid warm.
So there it is. That's my favorite scene, which gives a very clever way of explaining how life could form and survive inside of an asteroid. And there's the silicate core. And there's
Polyviter Gamer says it reminds him of Riven from the Myst game series.
Oh, from Myst. I've been meaning to play that. I own it.
I have a new virtual version on my virtual headset. VR.
That's fancy.
Oh, neat. Lenrod said, I was mowing my lawn when the stream started.
You're always mowing your lawn, Lenrod. I'm starting to imagine acreage.
Yeah, show us the picture. You must have the best lawn in the block.
You got 3 acres there of St. Augustine.
You're the neighbor that everyone's jealous of.
I think.
Right? Hakeem said, I know Dalek is happy about the sandwich. Yeah. Yeah, I miss Revan's stream. I'm sure. Yeah, I am too. I'm happy whenever a plot hole's covered up in the show. That's great. Mega Kuiper says, going to be epic when we get on to Star Trek, Polybeater. Yes, it is. Well, okay. I gotta stop my phone from making all these noises. It's getting a little too excited. So, hello in the chat to Eric Vixander. Great to see you today. And Lenrod said her delivery was solid. Oh. Mega Cropper asks, what series is next, Pop Culture Curator? Well, Star Trek, the original series.
Yes, I did respond.
Oh, okay, great.
But
yeah,
Pop
good
Culture,
decision.
You're going to do the animated series.
Well,
at the
her and
same
I
time,
both.
Right?
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah,
at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you'll be seeing season 1, in our opinion, season 1 of the mission as well as season 4 simultaneously.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, it makes complete sense.
That's going to be then the most difficult part is not being able to show clips because I really love the music in those 2 shows, and it's too bad we can't cover that more.
No, yeah. See, that's what's so nice about the Orville crew is that they allow me to play all these clips. But if I did that with Star Trek, CBS would slap you.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh, and Gorilla, if you're out there, if you can hear this, I fought that copyright strike and I won. They took it down. So
Isn't there a fair use for you, Jill? Like a certain amount of time for a
I
clip?
heard, I thought I heard a certain amount of seconds you're limited to.
Critiquing it? I'm just saying, I think there are rules.
Yes, but it's unclear. And
Yes.
so I could keep it under like 8 seconds and maybe that would be okay. I think.
No, that's not nearly enough though, is it?
No, I know. No, it isn't.
It's hard. You have to do with stills.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. But I don't know how long. I know one time I tried to do 30 seconds. That was way too long.
Yeah, that's too long. I thought I heard 13, but I could be wrong. I'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah, look into it for us. And Mega Cropper says, every Star Trek grifter going to get an education.
We're hoping that we'll have something new to bring to the table.
I hope so too. But Yeah, I'll do my best to bring in something new, but it'll be difficult because everybody's done it. But we'll see. But even if it's not completely different, everybody loves to hear about TOS. It's great.
Well, plus we'll be inviting opinions and reviews from other people as well that are in the chat. So I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah. And Dalek451 says most of this episode was back on form for the season. Slow, cringe, soap opera like, and rather boring, says Dalek451. Yeah. This was one of the first times where I was going through my review of what I wanted to say. And I was actually just reading this transcript instead of watching the episode because it was faster for me to just go through the script, zipping through it, rather than actually watching it. And so then I was able to skip through the episode a little faster.
Right, and like you said, like you said from the beginning, it's a bottle episode, and that's not easy when it's nearly an hour and a half, and it's mostly dialogue driven, and it is mostly about feelings. So I agree with you, Dalek.
Yeah.
I didn't find it cringy at all, and there have been other points in other episodes this season where I cringed pretty hard.
I didn't either the first watch. The first watch through, I was like, this is wonderful. But the second watch through was more difficult to get through.
I just thought the cringy part was the part with Bortus and Clyden at the beginning. I just didn't want to see that.
I thought it was a kind of a parody almost of the whole Ponfar and Spock's ceremony, and
well, combining the sex and the violence, I guess.
Yes, and there's the point where Gordon makes a commentary on that later on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he's like, "Why are we listening to you and you ritualize sexual assault?"
Yes, I'm glad somebody said that. I really am, because it was.
Yeah, but I thought that was an attack on their. That's, I don't know. I just thought. I mean, to us, yes, it seems like that. I even thought that. Like I said, I didn't like to watch that scene, but I didn't think it was right that Gordon criticized him for that, if that is part of their beliefs. But they're always.
I feel like there's been so much careful looking aside and trying not to eye roll and not laughing outright all season long, and particularly this episode. And it really just squashes the humor inherent in what's happening and just the way people relate to each other. The characters relate to each other. It's what makes it kind of seem flat to me, rather than hills and valleys, and more enjoyable because of the humor. Yeah. Everybody's just too afraid to kind of say what they think.
And hello in the chat to Rod Thunderheart. And also hello to Cardinal Sim. Great to have you guys here. Wait, Captain Trek is here? Captain Trek and Bob Burnett. But, well, I know for sure Robert Burnett's not in my chat. That would be crazy. No, neither of them were here. Wow, I don't know what I'd do if Robert Burnett were in my chat. Hakeem says, hail to Cardinal Sin. Hell, everyone's still trucking along. Oh, okay. Rod Thunderheart's working today. That's great. And Dalek451 said, and oh, yes. I just love that they wrap up the whole thing with that stupid sandwich.
Which means that, right, the sandwich traveled through time and space. Remember that. It followed along with the ship.
Yeah, that sandwich thing is way too well known that even my friend who has been avoiding spoilers knows about the sandwich. So.
Well, at least they didn't spend too much time on it. They just wrapped it up quick, right?
Yeah. I wish that the sandwich had a more meaningful ending. Oh, right, like it saved the ship or something. And Raymond Feliciano describes the Moclan renewal wedding vow ritual as a porn hub of hide and seek. And Lenrod says that sounds like a legit internet game. And Dalek continues, and yeah, Hakeem, the Topa episodes were torture to sit through compared to this. Oh, and hello in the chat to Scotty R37. Ahoy! I love that sandwich. I feel better already. Wait, have you watched all the episodes? I don't know. Maybe he just watched this last one. And hey, Jeremy Johns just reviewed Orville, all 3 seasons. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know who that is, but probably someone who is awesome. So now I have to find where I am in the episode. Isaac continues.
The best man scene.
Yeah. He asked Gordon to be best man. And but Bortus insists on taking it for himself. And that's kind of rude. All right. Unless you had something to say about this. I didn't put much in my notes for it.
Again, you know, at the summation of this, there's that repressed look from Ed again at poor Malloy's chagrin. It's.
I thought there was something unusual about Bortus's left eye.
I saw that too.
Yeah, it looks darker, like he's having trouble with it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he just didn't get any sleep.
He did get socked with a big rock.
Oh, whoa. Could that be actual show continuity? I'd be really impressed if that's what it is. Because
well, then you would think they would paint a black eye around it or something, but it looks like they're trying to hide it, if anything.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I like that idea anyway. And continuing from this, Isaac continues by inviting the entire Kaylon planet to the wedding.
He invite all the Kaylon.
Yep, invite everybody. So when describing the ceremony, he says, Kaylon primary, you describe enslavement. Are the biologicals attempting to place you into servitude as our builders did? And Isaac says, negative. It is a shared commitment. So, and of course, for dramatic effect, Isaac doesn't alert the crew or anybody because to him, he's just invited his whole family, which is a perfectly normal thing to do for a wedding. So it doesn't even cross his mind to tell anybody. And yeah, Rod Thunderheart says, yeah, absolutely loves it. He says it's the new Star Trek. Oh, Jeremy Johns says that. That's how I feel about season 1 and 2. And next, Kelly shows Lysella. So Kelly showed Lysella the holodeck, the environmental simulator, and now Kelly is showing Lysella all about the quantum core.
Or I like to call it the beryllium sphere.
And how it powers all of the ship operations. At this and at everyone and everything she's learned so far, Lysella is beginning to feel guilty. She's able to enjoy all of this wonderful technology, while her friends, family, and the entire world of Sargus 4 is still suffering under an oppressive way of life. Lysella is starting to think that if she could only bring this technology to her world, she could change their lives for the better. So begins the Prime Directive type story that goes on here. So even though their method of getting there was a bit contrived, at this point, I do like this storyline. Even though the Orville doesn't yet give what they call their Prime Directive. So we don't know what the Orville calls it, or if it's multiple directives. So I'm just going to refer to it as that. And Kelly tells Lysella that her world isn't ready for a quantum core, and that if they had one, they'd likely self-annihilate.
If I was wondering, that's why I kept thinking, should they be showing her all this advanced technology? I mean, isn't it kind of interfering with her history?
Yes. Well, if she ever did go back, it definitely does.
I guess they're assuming she's not going to, but
yeah. Well,
there's. I guess I can't consider this show having a prime directive, so I guess it's okay.
They agreed to allow Lysella to stay on board because she wouldn't go back to her world, but she ends up asking to go back to her world anyway, thus kind of contradicting that former directive.
Right. That's why it was so dangerous in my mind. They should have anticipated that, but I guess not.
It also strikes me as just overwhelming. And again, Kelly is the person who's sort of like this, and anybody, I think, would understand psychologically that somebody would just be completely overwhelmed.
Right. That reminds me of a Star Trek Next Generation episode where they found a ship that had some frozen individuals who were frozen for too long. And they came aboard the ship. One of them had a southern accent, and I forget the name of the episode. But
this was TNG?
Yeah, TNG.
I do remember that episode. One of them was like a cowboy, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. He liked race cars.
Yeah.
I remember him the most.
In Texas or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And they pretty much kept them in one room the whole episode because they didn't really want to overwhelm them with the future.
Yes, or expose them, right? Because a lot of it, you don't want. There's certain things they don't need to see. I'm surprised Kelly didn't show her the passwords to the whole ship.
Yeah, here's our security codes, and here's how to self-destruct the ship. Oh, here's how to operate our phaser banks. They don't use phasers, but same idea. And Bird of Prey 5 says, I refuse to believe Isaac is so stupid to invite the entire race to the ship. Well, you're probably right. It does seem a little bit off. I could see him inviting Kaylon primary, but to invite everybody? Yeah.
Crazy. Isaac's not making some intuitive leaps here. He's just a robot. I know that.
I think they did that. I think they did that just for the expense of the joke.
Jill thinks of him as an entity, but he just doesn't make.
I really do.
He doesn't connect the dots. He really doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think maybe the problem was that he did have that kind of, maybe not intuition, but he had a little more logic in the first 2 seasons that I tried to transpose it to this season.
Mm.
And Mega Cropper says, Jeremy Johns just lost. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I don't want to say anything bad about any other YouTubers.
No, we don't know him.
No, I don't. Especially since I don't even know him.
Yeah.
But you could tell me more later, Mega Cropper. I don't know. Lenron just says she's not particularly bright, so it have to be pretty much no effect on anything on her world anyway. And yes, that's the excuse that they give in the episode when they allow her to return later on.
Yeah, that shows they're not very bright either. That's assuming a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it is make a point. She doesn't really have a platform to talk to people about. She would just be considered the same way we consider somebody who says that they were taken aboard an alien craft, perhaps.
Well, I agree with that, but then I would ask, well, then why expose her to all that stuff in the first place?
It's not wise.
It's not.
It's not wise.
And it actually does overwhelm her. She's stricken with guilt and and she wants to bring it back to our world. And Mega Cropper asks, "Is that Captain America?" I don't know what that is.
No, that's not the same.
No, I don't know what that's in reference to. But Bird of Prey 5 says that was the season 1 finale, if I recall, the return of the Romulans. Oh. Thank you. The Neutral Zone. Oh, really? Wow.
Season 1 of what show?
TNG?
TNG.
I just remember that ep specifically because one of the rescued says, "Where's the television?" And Data points out that television only lasted for about 100 years as a phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, wow, he didn't know how right he was going to be, except it just moves. It just moved to the internet, basically. Mega Cropper says, "What episode on Deep Space Nine are you on, Bird?" And Bird of Prey 5 answers. He says, "This Wednesday is When It Rains, season 7, episode 21. Yeah, that's awesome. All those last episodes of Deep Space Nine are so fantastic. And Mega Cropper has made this decision to unsub. Oh.
Jill dropped out mid-O. Hey, Jill.
Jill may be having some technical difficulties.
Yes.
No, actually, I'm having biological difficulties. I was sneezing for like 15 times in a row.
Oh, yeah. God bless you. Times 15. Yeah, I had a sneeze earlier. I think you might have heard me snort before I managed to hit the mute.
Well, I tried to clear it with some Mucinex and stuff. Sorry to be gross, but I wanted to make sure the show went on.
No, it's okay. You're fine.
And Dalek451 says, "I think that the whole thing with that girl was just to fill in the runtime. In fact, the whole plot of this episode was so straightforward. It could have been told in just 20 minutes, not an hour and a half." You know, I actually exaggerated in one chat and said this whole story could have been told and presented in 10 minutes. But you know what? I'll move it up. I'll move it up to 20 minutes. I think that's fair.
Well, the beauty of a story is in the telling.
Mm-hmm.
That's as important as anything else.
That's true. Mega Cropper says, "I'm going to be sad when I get to the end of Deep Space Nine." Yeah. It's always sad to end the story. You always want more.
That's how I feel about Better Call Saul. There's like one episode left. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's over. It's my favorite show on TV right now.
How many seasons do they have left?
They're on season 6, and this is it. They have one more episode next week.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's fantastic. They brought Carol Burnett into it, and I never would imagine such a legend being on a show like that.
She has some good acting chops as well as the comedy.
Absolutely. I remember her when she played in Friendly Fire with Ned Beatty. Right after her series ended, she's an excellent dramatic actress, on top of being incredibly funny.
I haven't seen Better Call Saul, but I'm a big Jonathan Banks fan, so it's in my future someday.
Did you see Breaking Bad?
I saw some of Breaking Bad. I have not seen all of Breaking Bad.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I stopped about halfway through for some reason.
If you can finish it before you watch Better Call Saul, it does help.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be a must.
Yeah, both of them together are absolutely fantastic.
I agree completely. Great show. And I watched some of Better Call Saul. I need to catch up.
We have one episode left to the end. It's sad.
I think I'm 2 seasons behind, so I have lots of Better Call Saul left.
Yes, you do. You will not be disappointed. Oh, I'm not going to give away any more spoilers. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't give away any spoilers. I don't even know what you said. Don't worry about it.
I didn't catch it either. I was reading the comments.
Good.
Yeah, so you're good.
So I'm sorry. Selective tuning wins again.
Well, also my head's a little cloudy from the allergies. So
I thought about the same.
Yeah, I would have loved to cover Better Call Saul on my show. I just don't know if there's an audience out there on YouTube for it.
There is.
I imagine.
The Nerdporial Lifeform is covering it, and he gets like double the views of what he gets from all the other stuff that he presents. So if you want to just randomly talk about it on your own.
I guess it's too late now.
Well, no, it's never too late.
Just like I said, it's getting ready to end. There's only one episode left, and apparently it's already been covered. So
yeah, but who cares? You haven't covered it yet.
I should have covered Cobra Kai. I love that show as well.
When people are a big fan of something, they want to hear it more than once. So, I mean, it's up to you, though. Lenrod says, Dalek, that could be said about most of the season, really. The episodes are painfully overpadded. Yeah, I think the Orville did much better when it was stuck in its 45-minute window. But of course, that's my opinion. If you like the movie episodes, that's totally cool. JT Kirk says, hail to anti-derivative Jill. I'm just dipping on my cell for a bit. All right. Hey, JT Kirk. How are you doing, Captain? Oh, speaking of, I just mentioned the Nerdpoil life form, and here he is. I hope Carl Kurtz guy leaves DS9 alone. Me too. Secret hideout, stay away.
Colonel?
Yeah, well, I don't know why he ascribes Colonel to him. But
is he talking about Kurtzman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is, in STP Season 2, they put a lot of artifacts from DS9 in that episode, including some Ferengi, which it probably was Rom, who was the Grand Nagus. But they didn't actually show Rom. It was an alternate universe where Picard had murdered a bunch of leaders, so it was just skeletons. It was ugly. The whole all of New Trek is ugly, and I shouldn't be talking about it on my wonderful Orville episode.
I did look into it, Jill, and it looks like Secret Hideout is the television branch of Bad Robot.
Yeah. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. He is the protege of JJ. Oh, and Mega Copper says, don't think Jill's used to controversial chat peeps. But I appreciate you. I do. And Bird of Prey 5 reassures me. He says, they're not. DS9 is going to be visited. Oh, that's not reassuring at all, actually. Going to be revisited in Lower Decks Season 3.
Isn't Lower Decks the cartoon?
Yeah, Lower Decks is the cartoon. But that's okay. It's not Star Trek, so I'm okay. The Nerdpoil Lifeform says, yes. I think I know someone who does a Better Call after show.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's you.
Blue Jeans Girl was actually wearing knickers.
And JT Kirk gives this episode a D-. Blue Jeans Girl was the only good part of the episode. Yeah, see? That's the part of the episode that I'm gravitate towards too. Moclans draping countless wedding jokes that all seem to fall flat. I was in such a good mood that I actually did laugh at the jokes, but you have to be in a very good mood, and I was. This episode makes me not care if the show is renewed for season 4. Says JT Kirk. Well,
I have some of those same observations, but they're farther on in the episode, and I'm kind of holding off to wait till I get to my notes. But there's
me too.
This thing with the crew where everybody's so careful not to tread on each other's toes. Everybody just seems frozen, and it does make a joke fall flat. I mean, I don't need a laugh track. I don't need to be told when to laugh.
No, but they could behave more naturally.
But all of this careful political correctness. Well, we can't laugh at that. Well, we can't laugh at that. Well, we can't laugh at that. It comes off a little mean-spirited.
And the Nerdpoil Lifeform says Carol Burnett's character is so important.
Absolutely.
Right. Is she the other lawyer?
But I haven't
No. Carol Burnett is the comedian that dates back to out of. She was a big friend and got her start. Her mentor was Lucille Ball.
Oh, okay.
And Carol Burnett was also on the Twilight Zone episode.
Which one?
The one Twilight Zone episode that was comedy. Kavanaugh is Coming. with her and Jesse White, where he was like an angel and he was kind of giving her wishes. And the episode was kind of clumsily a comedic episode, but it was one episode of the original series. Then she went on to the Gary Moore show, and then she got her own. So it was CBS, and at the time, Lucille Ball pretty much owned CBS. So Lucille Ball helped her get her own show, which was a Carol Burnett show, which ran for 11 seasons on CBS and was very successful, very funny. I recommended anybody out there on YouTube land look at the Carol Burnett show.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes, yeah, she's definitely a legend when it comes to acting, comedy, dramatic, stage work. She got her start on Once Upon a Mattress, a stage play.
Wait, I do remember the Carol Burnett show for one thing that Spock showed up, right? One time.
He did show up in one episode, right? He played her husband. He had no lines, but he was in one episode as a cameo, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Better Call Saul is the best show on TV. Mark Ehrmantraut, Jonathan Bakes is so badass.
That is so true, yes. I'm going to miss the character.
Hakeem says, I agree, especially the back and forth with her going and staying. This felt like filler to end the show, instead of hyping up for another season. Wow.
That's possible.
And the Nerd Pearl continues. You should cover the series finale. Oh! Nerd Pearl Lifeform is suggesting to Pop Culture Curator that even though he hasn't been reviewing the show, that he should still cover the series finale. And, you could just basically in general talk about how you felt about the whole season.
I could give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting some encouragement from a top YouTuber here. Yeah. Mega Cropper says, need to rewatch the last episode. What a Better Call Saul. Was half stoned. Was half stoned when I watched it. Yeah, that can have an effect on your short-term memory.
Yeah, sometimes.
Nerd Portal Lifeform says, my Better Call Saul streams did way better than my Orville ones. Yeah, see, I noticed that. I was looking at your views, and wow, the Better Call Saul stuff is doing great.
I'm not surprised. The show's very popular.
Cardinal Sin says, hail to Nerd Portal Lifeform. And he responds, it's such a great episode, yet different from Breaking Bad's penultimate. Hakeem says, never saw Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, but I hear it's good. One day I might give it a watch.
I absolutely recommend it.
And Nerd Portal didn't even know you were watching the show.
Yes, I've been a fan ever since Breaking Bad. I think it was within the first 3 or 4 episodes of the first season of Breaking Bad, I was hooked.
And Dalek451 says, agreed, Lenrod. One of the reasons I had such a hard time watching most of these episodes is because they were just way too long. Yeah.
Well, it depends. Like last week's Dominoes, you weren't looking at your watch as much. So I guess it depends on the pacing of the scripts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Domino was perfect for the long movie format. And the tutorial continues, if you want some of the best character studies, both shows are a must-watch.
Absolutely.
True. That's absolutely facts.
Howdy, Lord Thoth.
Oh, yeah. Pleasant Valley Picker CA says, just on for a few minutes. I got to head to work. Just wanted to say hi. I haven't seen season 3, but it sounds like I haven't missed much from what I heard. Well, half and half for me.
You can binge watch it someday.
Yeah. Mega Carper says, weak Deep Space Nine reviews this week on the Clobby Show. Didn't think Raquel would get the show, but at least she hasn't mentioned this isn't Jean's vision. Yeah, no, you know why? No, she does get this show. That's why her reviews are the way they are, because she does understand that this is past Jean's vision, that this is the people who worked with Jean carrying the show on, and so it's going to be different, and she accepts that. She is a extremely intelligent, wonderful lady, and I love her. Lenrod says, hail to Pleasant Valley Picker CA. Sounds like the wokeness has crept into the Orville, says Pleasant Valley Picker.
Well, Fox was purchased by Disney.
And I would say that what's happened this year in the Orville is it's more social commentary than wokeness.
And of course, all opinions are welcome here. And Geek Flags with Nate Knows says hi to all. Hakeem asks, do I have to watch Breaking Bad first to understand Better Call Saul? I say yes.
It would help. I would say, a lot of times they say yes or no, but I would say it would help. You could still enjoy it, but you won't enjoy it as much.
And Nate Knows agrees that the Carol Burnett show was extremely hilarious.
Lightning in a bottle, once in a lifetime. It was the funniest up to that point, and there will never be a variety show like that again.
I'll add that you can't really see it today because, like a lot of shows that are being stripped, it's being cut into pieces, and it was really at its best when it was in an hour format or the 45 minutes, and you could see it from beginning to end.
Right. Well, the good
with
news
all the
is,
musical acts and the whole variety feel to it as well.
Right.
Now they just chop it, and it's just not as funny without that.
Well,
flow.
right. Originally, the show ran for 11 seasons, and then when the show ended, they took seasons 7 through 11 and chopped them up into a 30-minute format called Carol Burnett and Friends, and that's where they stripped away a lot of the musical episodes and things like that. But if you go to the Carol Burnett Show on YouTube, the actual official channel, they are releasing the full episodes.
Oh, that's very cool to know. Thank you.
Yes, especially from the first seasons, like with Len and Amoy. You're going to see a lot of episodes of that first seasons 1 through 6 that were never part of that Carol Burnett and Friends. So there's going to be many episodes. I just watched one the other night with Ruth Buzzy. By the way, Ruth Buzzy out there, take care of yourself. She just had a series of strokes. But you'll watch those and it's like, wow, I haven't seen that since it first aired or since.
Yeah, I was going to say that the same's true for Laugh-In. It really had an arc in the hour-long format, as it was originally broadcast. And when they cut it up into 30-minute pieces, it's just the humor just falls flat.
Yeah, a lot of that was
it's a shame that they're doing that.
Right, and some of the things that they deemed as questionable now. I think they should show everything uncensored.
Absolutely.
If they want to, put a warning at the beginning if they want to, but they should stop censoring. It's all part of history, and we should be able to appreciate it, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Well, now the Carol Burnett show is now on my watch list, so I'll check that out sometime.
You will not regret it. Believe me, she has some of the most memorable characters that you will laugh silly.
But also, I have 10 million things in my watch list. There are so many things I haven't seen.
But at least, at a minimum, search out the skit that makes fun of Gone with the Wind called Went with the Wind. If you can find that, I think that'll hook you.
That's the same thing that somebody else mentioned. Someone else mentioned the Gone with the Wind.
Her gown, okay, she had a famous...
no, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
No, I'm just going to say, the guy who did her costumes, the guy who did the costumes on that show, Anthony Mackie, was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And he was so good.
Bob Mackie.
Bob Mackie, that's it.
Anthony Mackie is actually Captain America, I believe, to call back to what's happening on the screen right now.
Right. Bob Mackie, the one costume from that one skit is in the Smithsonian Institution.
And I agree with Pleasant Valley Picker CA. Raquel does get deep space nine. She appreciates any show well written. And I did hear you, Pop Culture Curator. You were saying that his costumes made it into the Smithsonian?
One of
them.
The skit called Went with the Wind. She has one particular costume. I'm not going to give it away, but it was so well received that it's hanging in the Smithsonian. I'll put it that way.
And Nate Knows agrees with Tiger Stripe, saying, yes, the Orville is more social commentary than woke, because the episodes may comment on something and culture, but that doesn't mean that you think a certain way. I guess he means it doesn't make you think a certain way, the same way that modern Trek does. Okay, well, I mean, or push a certain belief or whatever. I don't know. JT Kirk says Raquel Briggs is amazing, but her short stories on Amazon. Buy her short stories on Amazon. You won't be disappointed. I agree completely. Buy them. And I've read a few of them. They're like the Twilight Zone with the interconnected universe. I'm ready with that ad. Anytime anyone wants to mention Raquel's stories, I will show that. And the Nerd Portal Lifeform says her husband is a guy from Blazing Saddles. Husband on the show. Got more stuff about Carol?
I think that there's big Harvey Korman. That wasn't her husband.
Oh.
But yeah, Harvey Korman was one of the regular series regular on the Bachelorette, so he was in several Mel Brooks movies, including Blazing Saddles.
Okay, I think it's about time we get back to the episode. I've had a fun time with the chat here. Oh, I'm glad I saw this for just a second though. Pleasant Valley Picker CS says, "Well, I gotta go. See you all again soon. Bye.
Take care.
Goodbye." So back in Astrometrics, Lamar is reporting that the array is scanning at full resolution, and that is nice. I wish we could see what it's scanning and what the results of the scan tells us about what the Orville is trying to discover. But we don't. So, of course, this part is just a background. So, of course, everything's going swimmingly for that. The real point of the scene is for Gordon to rant and rave about how offended he is that Bortis stole best man from him, which he has every right to be upset. However, his mood is immediately uplifted when where is it?
Hey, that's my sandwich.
What the hell?
The sandwich I sent forward in time 3 months ago when we had the Aronoff device. Look at that. I knew I was going to be happy to see it.
So
I attended a wedding where there was two best men. I was the second because there was me and another. Three of us were friends.
Oh.
And my one friend Myron got married, and me and his other friend, which we were all, like I said, friends. We were both best men, and we stood on either side of him. So I don't know.
That's a really sweet way to do it.
Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah, I think actually I had a matron of honor and a maid of honor. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tiger Stripes, would you say there's more chemistry between Gordon and that sandwich than some of the characters this season?
I would say men and their sandwiches. I don't understand it, but I know it's a thing. Women in their magazines and men in their sandwiches.
I make a sandwich for my husband almost every day.
It makes them so happy.
It does. The simplest things. I could do everything wrong, but just make that sandwich. Everything's fine.
And then again, Ed's just totally deadpan after this. He raises one eyebrow, which is very Nimoy-ish, but no signal on how he feels about this. Just okay.
Now, Lamar is the one who has emotion for this.
It's a goddamn weird ass place we work in, let me tell you.
So that was my second favorite scene next to the holodeck, the environmental simulator scene.
It is always nice to see somebody who is happy to see something or someone.
Yeah. So, so we just had to have the crew feel like that about each other.
Exactly. That would be nice.
Treat everybody like they're delicious sandwich. No, okay, maybe not exactly, but you know what I mean. So Kelly, Tala, and Lysella get together to plan a bachelorette party. But Lysella is still upset about her people not having simple technology to obtain a drink of water at will, like she can. Straight from the matter synthesizer. And so she doesn't listen to Kelly when she said her people have to work for it. And Kelly tries to continue saying that sharing advanced technology with less developed worlds is illegal. And doesn't ever really work well. Kelly says if 21st century Earth were just given the matter replicator, that it would have been abused by those in power, which is possible, but I don't know that I necessarily agree completely. Her words are,
the rich and powerful would have found a way to exploit it for financial gain.
Sorry. So, I don't think that's exactly true, because they would be giving the technology to everyone. So if everyone has the blueprints, they're promoting here that everyone should have it. So
Well, they're right, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if that's their end goal, if that their end goal is share it with everyone, then share it with everyone. Don't filter it through. Anyway,
Or maybe it'll be like a car, depending on how sophisticated the one you can afford. You know, the more sophisticated they are, the better they are, and the more they can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Just
maybe.
remember, there's a lot of technology that we're not privy to, that the government does not want us to have. And remember,
exactly.
Right, Nikola Tesla invented free electricity, and they put a meter on it.
Yeah.
So, right.
But I'm guessing here that if the Orville is giving the technology, then that it could leak. You know. I don't know.
It feels like the greed doesn't exist anymore like it does now. The levels between upper class, lower class, middle class. I think she's trying to allude to the fact those don't exist anymore. Maybe.
Maybe. But I don't know. If everyone does have the synthesizer, then everyone would have the same power, except for those with the military force. So it would dismantle the economy, but it would also simultaneously give people all of the clothing, food, and shelter and stuff, so that the government and subsidiaries would really be the only ones who are the real danger towards the people.
And people would find a way to exploit it, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, don't lose your keys or your coins in those couches.
Oh, right, yeah. And that would end with violence and, possible decimation. So that is why later on this episode they have the scene that they do. I kind of feel like she might have shown her that sooner. It could have been put together here a little better to have that scene here, but then we wouldn't have had her stealing the stuff. So I get why they separate it. Anyway, she's still upset. She's still feeling guilty, so she goes to bed. And here we have some attempted character decimation of Bortus, which is impossible because he's the best.
Well, isn't this supposed to be the bachelor party?
Yeah, this is supposed to be.
This is the bachelor party.
Right. So this is their way of telling us, the audience, that they're not allowed to show what a real bachelor party looks like, right?
Yeah. Well, they make
Everybody knows this is not what a bachelor party looks like. We all know this. So I'm wondering why they chose this format. But they show the women partying on, having a great time.
This isn't even the setting for a bachelor party.
No, it is not at all. That's what I'm saying. Not at all. Because I don't know. But the women are having a blast, of course.
But, it's exactly what Gordon said about Bortus to a T. you know, about how he uses things to sort of aggrandize himself and put himself in a position where he's the center of attention.
At least in this episode. I don't know if I'd noticed that anywhere else. And of course, he puts on the most boring Elvis bachelor party ever. And we get a line from Yaphet.
Yeah, I thought these things were supposed to be ragers.
Just because I wanted to hear Norm. Even though he sang beautifully in Teletutopas, this episode contradicts that. And now he's suddenly a poor singer.
Well, he's carrying the tune, and the meter is just flat. He's expressionless.
And I love Clyde's reaction in this.
Yeah. Clyde, I think he's overcompensating with all that they've been through. Like, he's trying to be as loving and supportive as he can. All together, like just making up for years of animosity.
Maybe he's coming out of his shell, you know?
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's another idea. Yeah, why not? And I kept expecting Gordon to come to the rescue for this party because he keeps saying how good he is at this. So I wanted to see him do it. But I guess the men, like you said, just aren't allowed to have any fun. I don't know why. It's not fair. By contrast, we cut to the Bachelorette party, which is going much better, with the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, playing, and all the women on the ship dancing, having a wonderful time. And I like that they mentioned they have a drink called the Quantum Bomb. Because I probably told this story before, but I went to a Star Trek convention, and it was completely wonderful except for the dance party. And the music was terrible. But what saved my time there was somebody created the warp core breach, which reminds me of this quantum bomb. And it was pretty delicious.
What's in a warp core breach?
So I was hoping you were going to ask that because I was going to explain it anyway. I don't even drink alcohol anymore, but I remember this drink very fondly. One website says that it contains 30 ounces of fruit juice, 3 ounces of white rum, 2 ounces of lemon rum, 1.5 ounces of spiced rum, dark rum, razzmatazz rum, and Bacardi 155 rum. So just a whole cocktail of rum. All of these are stirred together with ice, and dry ice is also added so that you get that breach effect. So the warp core breach was invented for the now dismantled Star Trek experience. So it was really great to get a piece of something that I never had. Anyway, the ladies here have a better party, complete with a simulated stripping Kaylon. And it reminds me of an interview I listened to before the start of the season. Tom Constantino was talking to an interviewer, and they were talking about how Hulu allowed them to be a little more freeing with their language and their content, more to allow it to be more adult. And Tom Constantino joked that there will be no naked Kaylon, but the interviewer completely missed the joke and didn't realize what he was saying. And that statement is finally come true here. And for some reason, oh yeah, the tassels and stuff, of course.
Tassels are inappropriate unless you're spinning them, unless you know how to spin them.
And the Kaylon proves that he does.
No, he does not spin those tassels.
Oh, yes, he does. He does too. Spin.
I did not see those tassels spinning.
You know what? You could be right. I thought I saw them spin. They definitely popped out of his nipples out of nowhere.
Did you ever see the end of Elvira's movie?
No, I'm sorry, but I'm sure
you can learn something. She knows how
You're
to
the
spin
second person to tell me to
tassels.
watch Elvira.
Oh, Elvira's fantastic. Yes, Cassandra Peterson.
You know
But
what? I
I'm just
haven't.
saying, at the end of that movie is total spoiler. But it's
Another,
just, it's like 5 minutes of tassel twirling.
it
And
is right.
she was a Vegas showgirl, so she
Yes,
really knows what she's doing. It's impressive.
right. And she's still playing the character after all these years. I give her props. I met her at a convention. She's extremely down to earth and very, very, very friendly.
You know, I hadn't seen that movie, but I have seen that bit because I've been to Jedi Bill's stream, and he
got a clip.
sometimes he's got a clip of that scene.
It's
anytime he wants a break, he just shows that whole scene.
But this is what the bride to be should be doing. She should be dancing with the stripper.
Right, exactly, and the same for the Isaac. I mean,
Please clarify something for me. But isn't Isaac at the bachelor party? How's he also at the?
Oh no, this isn't Isaac. This is
an incredible simulation.
A simulation.
It's a simulation.
That's what I thought.
They
Okay,
wrote the program. They said.
Got it. That's what I was wondering. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So for no reason, they cut back to this party. I guess
Well,
to get more of a singing.
that's for comic effect.
But okay. Was I
contrast
supposed to be
and
laughing?
compare?
I was mad that they're making Bortus into a jerk.
Well, Bortus is a bit of a jerk. I don't know. And I felt kind of bad.
But not like this. I don't know.
Because at the end of this, they just sit there. You know what I mean? There's not even polite applause. It's like when you tell a joke in front of your friends and everybody just stares at you. And sometimes it's because they don't find it funny, but sometimes it's because nobody wants to be so uncool and unhip that they laugh. Have you ever had that happen? I've had that happen. And that's what I get for this. Again, there's just no character connection. But you applaud politely even when somebody's horrible. It's the
well, at least for
I
think you're right, except for the people who are asleep in the audience.
Even they might pop awake and just begin to applaud because it's the polite thing to do.
Yeah, at least a golf clap
you either sneak out or you applaud politely at the end. And believe me, I have snuck out before. So
yeah, all right. Yeah, you applaud and then you disappear. A vanishing act. So here I think that this would have been a perfect time for Gordon to save the party. Because Bortus got to do his act and everybody could golf clap like you say, and then Gordon could bring out the stripper. Like, computer, change program. It would have been that easy.
Okay, so both of them are in this environmental, both the females and the men are in the environmental simulation at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's a good point. They got sound barriers. So Lysella is just feeling too guilty, so she asks to go home. The clues have been planted that she's going to try to steal the technology and reinforce when she says that she feels selfish for living in this world. And the episode cuts to Claire standing on a matter replicator, but I didn't get any pictures of it. I didn't get any pictures of Claire in her dress. I'm sorry about that. Tala and Kelly give helpful opinions while Ed just says they're all great because they are. And that feels pretty real to me in terms of the kind of advice a man would give. It's pretty much, yeah, you look beautiful and everything. What do you want? And Kelly is there to tell Ed that Lysella wants to go home, which they agree with because she's not an engineer and could tell her people how to build the tech that she's seen. So now I have 43 chats in the chat. I don't know what they are, so I'm going to go check them out. I think I put a star on the last one that I had. So it goes back. There were a lot of people who went on about the brilliance of the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah, sorry for that interlude.
No, that's okay. I mean, because I'm trying to watch everything in the world, so this is helpful for me. Hakeem says, thanks. Looks like I got a lot of catching up. Yeah, right? Me too. I have a lot of catching up. But I have seen Breaking Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad, Carol Burnett. No, I'm happy when we talk about good shows. Phantom Boomer says, not really an Orville fan, but thought Domino was pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people like Domino, and you could really just watch it on its own. It is exactly what the production crew claims all season long, that this is like a movie and you can watch it on its own. That is Domino. And yes, we read that one earlier. And Tubi is a free streaming app, and you can get the Carol Burnett show. Oh, for free. Wow, that's pretty great.
Very cool.
Tubi's really stepping up as an app, as a streaming service.
So nice. I have no excuses.
That's right. No excuses. When you need a good laugh, I'll put it that way, Jill. When the day comes, it's like, oh, my day's not doing so well, I need a good laugh. Put in Carol Burnett.
And Cardinal Sin says that I am great. Thank you, Cardinal Sin. You're great too. Cardinal Sin, what's up? And Mega Cropper has an opinion opposite to mine, saying Jadzia is the weakest character, comparing the Nog-Jake episode with her visiting the homeworld is weak. I do not think Jadzia is weak at all. She's awesome. But I'll save it for Saturday Night Star Trek. If you want to talk more about Deep Space Nine, go check out Saturday Night Star Trek with Clobberin Times and Raquel at 9 p.m. Central. Pleasant Valley Picker CA says that he has to go. Oh yeah, that's actually where I ended the chat last time. And Lamar being chewed out by Claire because of an impression of Isaac felt like a series finale, as well as the wedding and Lara showing up, says an Imperial life form.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. And a little more about Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball, being in her being around during Star Trek. And the funny thing is, I make the sandwiches for me and my wife. Hey, well, if you know the sandwich that you want, it makes sense that you're making it. And Lenrod lives almost entirely on sandwiches. Scotty liked Lamar's quip. Yeah, he has the best line in the episode, and you heard it. Egg salad sandwich. The circle is now complete. And the Reporter Lifeform says, I hope to get part 1 of Ocarina out this week, so I gotta go. See ya. Oh, have a great day, Nerdporial Lifeform.
Take care, Nerdporial.
I hope to see that Ocarina of Time retrospective. I love The Legend of Zelda. I wasted so much of my time in my childhood playing that game.
Take care.
I played it once, and I played it over and over again, to the detriment of having watched any of these movies that would be helpful for me to know about. So I look forward to that. Dalek451 says, I had a chicken and stuffing sandwich and a chicken and bacon sandwich for my lunch today. Nice. You're making me hungry, Dalek.
Really? My tummy's grumbling. Savage.
Raymond says, why is it that in pop culture, women have the best bachelorette parties and men are dull or weird? I don't know.
It's not know. Cool. I've never been to a bachelor party. So
me neither. I've been to a great bachelorette party.
At a minimum, they don't have to show a lot for a bachelor party, but it'd be nice if they showed the old-fashioned trope was a girl popping out of a cake. It'd be nice to at
Yes,
least
exactly.
do
That's what
that,
they
something
used to
along.
do.
Yeah,
You know what?
sometimes they still do. Sometimes they still do.
You read my mind on that one. I was thinking of that
Yeah,
too,
they
because
just
that's
won't
the
show
only
that
experience.
anymore. It's taboo now. Yeah.
I was at a party with a stripper once. It's memorable. Male stripper. Memorable.
Right, strippers go to female and male parties.
My
So
God,
it
he
gets across
was
both.
a pro.
Mhm. And Scotty R37 says the government withholds jetpacks and ray guns. All I want is a hoverboard.
A hoverboard with no brakes.
Lenrod says it's them saying men aren't allowed to have fun.
Oh, I think it's more like don't let Bordis organize anything.
Okay, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that one. Geek Fat says, yeah, but how do you share it with everyone you have to work with? Whatever world or cities or countries or governments, they will distribute it. You can't go every individual person and give them tech. Yeah, that's right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I don't think I thought that one completely through. Dalek451 said that he hated that scene. The women got to have the time of their lives and the men have to suffer. Yeah.
It was extremely cringe.
I gotta sneeze again. Can you guys cover for me for a second?
Sure. Would you like to read pop culture?
Sure. Akeem, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from the chat says, this part was so boring. Isaac could have researched Earth culture like he did before and know this wasn't a typical bachelor party. Well, I agree, that's true, but not only that, since this is an environmental simulator, any one of those people could have said, Isaac, wait a minute, this is not how a bachelor party is. This is how a bachelor party is. And they could have reprogrammed it at any time. So, I don't know.
And that kind of brings up a point. I mean, am I just blanking on this? It was Isaac's bachelor party. Where was Isaac?
I think he was sitting there on the couch. That's why that's
Was
what
he?
made me. Yeah, that's what made me think.
Okay.
And ask you guys, is he in both locations at the same time? I was thinking that's what triggered my question.
Yeah. I guess he was there. It's funny because of course, it's true. It was just so bad. It was so bad.
Well, and not only that though, a bachelor party is always about the bachelor. So you think the scene would have been centered on him, but it wasn't. It was centered on pretty much Bordis and Clyden, right?
Oh yes, no, Bordis was definitely making that all about him.
Yeah. They're not allowed to show bachelor parties anymore. Not even rated G ones. Just not allowed to show it at all, I guess. What?
And Dalek,
read that one there.
Oh yeah, Dalek says, "Don't get me started on stripper Isaac." Oh my God, get that out of my head. But Lenrod says stripper Isaac was pretty funny, and Raymond agrees.
I like that Claire took the initiative. Nobody had to help her up onto the stage.
Yeah, right. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh, strippers. Oh my God.
Scotty R37 says that warp car breach would make Geordi roll under the emergency door. Boozy. I love Scotty. Mega Cropper says drunk Jill could be too toxic.
Could you, Jill? I'd like to see you kind of be a little toxic. You're like the sweetest person in the whole world and level-headed and logical. So I think even drunk, that's hard to imagine.
Mega Cropper is right. When I drink, I start arguing about history and things and science.
Wow. That'd be fun. Maybe we need to have a drinking live stream someday where we all take a drink every half hour and see where it goes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If I ever decide I want to drink again. Yes. If I ever decide I want to drink again, I will hit you up for that.
All right. Okay then.
You'll be the first one I call. Dalek451 says, this was easily the worst part of the whole episode, which was the previous scene.
And it was
Which is
supposed to be
BBC, yeah.
funny. That's
It
the
was supposed to
saddest
be.
part. It was supposed to
Mhm.
be funny.
It was. It was. Well, they were relying on Bortus's, the actor's natural humor, because Peter Bacon is extraordinarily talented, and he plays the scene the way he's told to. But in this case, it didn't quite work, and it wasn't his fault. Elvira dated Elvis? Did not know that, says Scotty R37.
I have been looking into Elvira, and oh my God, there's a story that has made me think entirely differently about a different entertainer. So I'm not even going to go there. We were talking about the Orville here. Some other day.
Some other day. We'll learn more about Elvira's
oh my
love
God.
life.
Really?
Lenrod said, it's for contrast. Yeah, true.
Yes, but it should have been funnier. Why wasn't it funny? It really
I
fell.
don't know.
It fell quite like a bomb, didn't it? It just.
I
boom,
don't know. I'm not a comedian, so I
flat.
can't really dissect why it didn't work, but it didn't.
It didn't work.
Mega Cropper says, can no one in the chat trigger Pop Culture Curator? Why are you trying to trigger him? He's doing great.
Or anyone, for that matter. What's the point of that trolley thing? I do not get it.
I didn't realize he was trying to troll.
You could relate to people instead of just trying to push a button. Find a button and push it.
Scotty R37 says, Board Gordon rules.
That was hilarious because when he woke up, he kind of touched his mouth like he wanted to make sure he wasn't drooling.
Mm-hmm. And Dalek451 says, the guys are all dying inside. They have every right not to clap.
I'm actually just looking for humor here. I just feel like if they'd all kind of done the slow, awkward clap, it would have been funnier.
Yeah.
Just anything to put a little life in that scene.
And Lenrod agrees that Gordon did fall asleep. And Nate says, the Orville has 3 environmental simulators that we see on the screen. Okay, so there's more than one environmental simulator. That's what I was wondering. And yes, there are multiples. My baby seems to need me, so
that's fine.
I was wondering if you guys can cover just for a second.
Absolutely.
Go for it. I have to read that, Tiger.
I'll be right back.
Well, let's read alternately. We can do that. If I can find out where it is, where we are on the screen.
Yeah, I would have to scroll.
I got it. Scotty said, Jadzia ain't weak. Jadzia is the bomb, yo. And she is. I concur. And Captain Time Lord Spock. Is that who I think it is? I get very confused about all of Captain Spock's. Appears to be offering popcorn. An icon of popcorn, which sounds pretty good. Do you want to read the next one in the comments?
I'm looking for it. I'm scrolling up now. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
cool.
Scotty's there.
Cool. Yeah.
Actually, I'm back. It's okay. My child was just singing, not screaming
it
like she
sounded pretty
needed
happy to me, but this also sounded like a bid for attention.
It was.
That's fine.
And she did.
Aww.
I gave her a clap.
That's good.
Scotty R37 says pop culture bachelor parties are too hot for TV.
It is a trope in situation comedies for the bachelor party to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about it, I have seen it before. It's kind of a
right, where they hire the stripper, but the stripper doesn't make it, or the wrong stripper comes.
Yes. Yes, there's always something that goes wrong.
That's funny though.
Yes. Yes.
This there was no attempt to even make it good. At least then they're trying.
Yes.
Hello to Captain Time Lord Spock. Always great to see you. What is this? Food talk. Is this KDTV? Well, Raymond, geeks and nerds have to eat too.
What's KDTV?
King Dolphin TV.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
And Scotty R37 says hi to Cap. On Sci-Fi Nation later this afternoon, I think in an hour, Scotty and Captain and Sci-Fi Nation will be playing a game of Risk with Edge of Time. Linrod says, I'm not invited to bachelor parties.
Aw.
And Captain Time Lord Spock says, always remember to put air holes in the cake. Lenron said, it's because we're here. Well, right. If the King Dolphin TV chat is in my chat, then it follows that food will become a topic. And Scotty R37 references The Simpsons. Stupid, sexy Isaac. Oh, and Lenrod also recognizes the Simpsons meme. And Nate Knows says, but Bortus was the best man, so he organized the bachelor party. That is a fact. Always here with the facts. Scotty R37 says, Jill's drunk stream would be better than this bachelor party. Well, thank you. You guys are going to drive me to drink.
No, that's not my intention. I don't want
just
to
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yes. But should you decide to?
Yes.
I'll
I
be
have
there for you.
friends. Should I decide to, I have friends. I know it. Cardinal Sin says, anti-derivative Jill. Elvis told Cassandra Peterson that she should go into show business and was a catalyst that made her create Elvira. Wow. And Nate Knows says, like the Tom Hanks movie Bachelor Party. And he says, you can just call me Nate. Okay, Nate. And so she's all sad. She's going to leave. She feels guilty. And so they try to have this big emotional goodbye with all the sappy music. But of course, as she's entering the shuttle, the red alert goes off and they find out she's stolen a comm scanner. Because unlike last time, the security systems are working. And alert the crew to her theft. And she was trying to steal all the technology except for the weapons. Oh, and welcome to the stream, Gorilla. Gorilla.
Can you hear me?
Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this piece of crap does work on mobile. Alrighty.
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
Go ahead, mention the last half hour.
We got mostly through the episode. We've gotten through all of the bits of the episode dealing with the wedding planning. We got through the bachelorette party and the bachelor party.
Alrighty.
We got past the most of the fish out of water scenes with Lysella learning about the holodeck and the quantum drive. You seen the episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're at the part where she's trying to steal the technology on the comm scanner, but she failed.
Okay, I got a question. How didn't they catch that the first time she stole a comm scanner?
That's why I said this time the security measures are working. Last time they failed. I have no idea.
That's worse than Starfleet security.
Well, you know, at least at least they're following the same trope there. Inconsistent security. I can get down with that. And hello in the chat to Apex Comics. He says, I haven't seen the Orville, so I can't give a grade. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I am just glad you're
But
here.
we are doing a spoiler review, Apex Comics.
Oh, yeah. I've spoiled all of the things.
Yes, we're spoiling all the things. So you may not want to. I mean, you're welcome to, but.
Oh, yeah. Dalek451 said, God, this was so forced. Like I said, this all just to fill the runtime because there's next to no actual story. And you know what? You're kind of not wrong. It's pleasant filler though.
No, I did miss I did get to miss the part that I was complaining the most about the episode.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, did we really need to see two 400-pound Moclans running through the damn woods in thongs? Like, seriously?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's a part where, like, if this was at the end, the final episode, I wouldn't have watched it.
I mean, because it made sense when we saw Bortus naked when he was sitting on his egg, because you've got to sit on the egg.
Well, in all fairness, I didn't need to see that either. They could have just kept it. They could have just kept the. They could have at least kept the camera on Lara the whole time.
But gorilla, as a gorilla, aren't you naked all the time?
Yeah, but I'm not. But I'm all out there by myself.
Yeah, he's not showing off. But at least with the egg warming, that was a logical reasoning and it made sense. But this was a bit gratuitous. I think I agree. But why not? You know,
honestly, I was just relieved that they were wearing something. I was terrified.
Me too.
That they were going to be really naked.
Tiger stripes. I had the same exact thought.
Yeah. Gerb said he was just glad they had thongs on.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay, there you go. So then, hello in the chat to Susan Dolan. And Nate says, I think she stole the comm scanner off the shuttle when they returned her to her planet. So since the comm scanner was already on the shuttle, the alarms didn't go off. That is a pretty brilliant assessment, Nate. Thank you.
It does sound like something she would do at the last minute.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, right. Like just at the last second.
There it is.
There's a lifeline. I'm going to take that. And she didn't tell anybody about it for so many years. So I think she's so that I like that. I like that theory. Apex says, I don't have time to watch TV shows, but I'm glad you have spoilers. Oh, great. Wow, Gorilla's really loud. Yeah, Gorilla, you are just a tad loud. You sound fine. It's just your volume is
balanced
a little bit up.
in the StreamYard or something?
I don't know how to fix that on the phone.
Ah.
Well, you sound better now. So just talk at a distance or whatever you need to do. And Susan Dolan says, I don't watch TV, period. Not since everybody was forced to go digital, says Susan Dolan.
Wow, Susan, that's a commitment.
And Carlson agrees. Gorilla, stop shouting.
Yeah, at least it's polite shouting.
Well, we can hear you quite fine, though, especially since we're wearing headphones. So
yeah, you sound a lot better now. So Gorilla appeared in a Lost Doom Patrol episode as Monsieur Malah, right hand to the brain. Gorilla's got a powerful voice, and our intelligence has improved since YouTube, says Apex. Hello in the chat to Just Carol. Hi, Just Carol, formerly known as Carol's Cookies. Hey, kids.
The famous Carol's Cookies.
Hi, and Carol. Good to see you. Long time no see.
But I take it you just want to be called Carol now.
Okay. And Scotty R37 says, okay, everyone, I must prepare for world domination. See y'all in the future.
We'll see you, Scotty.
Bye, Scotty.
You're hilarious, Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty is hilarious and wonderful, and he's great.
Yeah, I think I met him in the backstage.
I can't expound upon him the way he does me, but he's great. Okay. Apex says, hi, Just Carol. And they're just saying hi. So since nobody can listen on the show and they have to be shown, Kelly finally takes Lysella to the environmental simulator. Well, because Kelly tries to explain this to her
really
3 times.
No, it's a very apt point.
But well, in all fairness, does anybody in this generation listen?
Oh, I don't know. I hope so.
I can only speak for my own generation. I don't get any of the others. The boomers, zoomers, Y, Z, X.
Mm-hmm. And So the Orville, she has to explain why the Orville cannot share technology with Sargus 4. Kelly calls up Gendel 3, circa 2235, which is like 21st century Earth. She then advanced time 5 years, and so we see an apocalyptic wasteland similar to Fallout 4, including the ghouls. That's incredible for only 5 years, and they don't explain how ghouls developed in just 5 years.
Very carefully.
And so all they do explain is that this was the result of the Union in their early years. They gave the planet technology to save them from their growing pains. But instead, the world only went through war and destruction, and due to different countries trying to retain dominance. And as a result, laws against contaminating less advanced cultures were written. Lysella finally learns that she can go home, and learns from Kelly that you can't pull them into the future. So, of course, she'll decide to stay.
Hey, have you already passed the point where they showed him the quantum core, or the quantum core?
Yes. Do you have something on that?
Yeah, how the hell did they not get a massive dose of radiation from standing that close to it?
Well, it doesn't emit that kind of radiation. Otherwise, they couldn't just walk into that room like that.
Because at least in like TNG and Voyager and DS9, at least they had like a warp core that contained everything and shields around it.
Right.
They don't have that here.
Well, in the warp core is matter and antimatter, so you have to contain it, because if it touches each other, of course, everything explodes. With the quantum core, it works a little bit differently, quantumly. I can't exactly know how exactly it works. But I don't think it emits radiation. Otherwise, yes, everybody would be dead. Oh, I remembered one thing to say about Scotty R37. He has a channel called the Phantasmagorium. And tomorrow, if you go to his Phantasmagorium channel, he's going to be reviewing Tarantino's Grindhouse. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to be in the chat for that. And Nate says, I actually like learning more about the Planetary Union's history and the mistakes they made. That are the basis of their laws. Mm-hmm. Captain Time Lord Spock, Carol and Jill are the YouTubers that keep us honest. The Cogni and Lacey of the online community. Thank you, Captain.
I feel very old now because I don't think Jill knows who Cagney and Lacey were.
Yeah, she didn't sound like the familiar.
So we'll continue.
No cop show, Jill.
I love this line from Just Carol. That's really cool. Not sure biscuits would be the next logical move.
Thanks for betraying my ignorance.
I don't know how you associate cookies with creeps and gross, but
yes.
Yeah, right. Just Carol, drop the cookie to keep the creeps away. Not sure the biscuit would be the next logical move. Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't know you were getting in trouble from that. Nate says, I have 2 children, so I can answer Gorilla's question. No, they don't. Listen, that is.
Which question was that?
They don't listen. Does anybody from this generation listen?
Yeah, mine don't.
And Nate says no. 5 years seemed a bit too fast. Yeah, right.
Well, look how fast things are going downhill right now with it, and just think of like one country got that technology, all of a sudden they go use it against another, or each country would try to steal from the other. And all hell breaks loose real fast.
Well, that's true. I do agree with the apocalyptic landscape, but it was the ghouls that was a step too a little bit much.
Because look how fast after we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, how fast that they kept making more and more powerful.
Yeah. Oh.
And all of a sudden we got introduced. If we got introduced to new technology, just think of what we would have done with it. during the Cold War era.
Right. Yeah. I don't deny that we could destroy our planet immediately if we got technology that's too advanced for us. I just deny that ghouls are going to start climbing out of sewers. Dalek451 says, on a lighter note, I just sat down for tea, and my aunt and uncle are here to visit. Enjoy family time.
I think that's lovely. I have a question. Is tea a little fancier because auntie and uncle are there? That's my question.
And are you having dinner soon?
Well, I'll be going to have my lunch in about 6 minutes here.
And Scotty R37, if you are still out there, Apex is saying hey. And Dalek451 says hi to Carol. And Nedrod says the quantum core could be like a singularity, so nothing actually emits from it, only what's pulled from it. And Cardinal Sin says, Jill, at least it's not a spore drive. You're right. At least we do not have a pizza cutter.
You don't like a mushroom drive?
I don't. Nate says, in the Orville, disonium has the power output of matter and antimatter mixture with the side effect of harmful radiation. And Carol says, you can be Lacey. Okay, I'll have to watch it to figure wait a minute. I don't know if I want to be Lacey if you're telling me I should be Lacey. I'll have to check it out. Guys.
Oh, Lenrod, you are old if you know who Cagney and Lacey are. Actually, I can imagine it. I can imagine it, Carol. I really can.
You have no idea the amount of growth I've been hit with because of the word cookies.
Well, they can use that with any word.
Yeah, because when I refer to your cookies, I'm really talking about actual cookies. Okay, yeah, I get how it could be misconstrued. So, just Carol from now on. Just Carol. Susan Dolan says, for British followers, you have to distinguish the difference between cookies and biscuits. They call cookies biscuits across the pond. Yes, they do. And if you visit Captain Time Lord Spock's channel, he has a couple of videos about that. Although there's a lot to shift through to find them. Oh yeah, see, I knew he was going to mention it. Captain Time Lord Spock says, actually, cookies and biscuits are two different things. I literally did a 6-hour live stream exploring the difference, and I was there. He had a whole big plate of cookies, different types of cookies and biscuits, and even a Jaffa cake, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Nate says, Gorilla is right. Because big technological shrines usually come from learning how to destroy more efficiently.
Oh yeah, because most of our technological advancements here has become a war because we had to find more efficient ways of doing stuff.
Yes, and that's also how we got into our space race. That's also why we explore our solar system.
And that's why GPS came about and the internet.
Mm-hmm. Lots of inventions from that. Hakeem says, I'm always bothered by how every alien speaks English. Even humans aren't around. Yeah.
There was a scene in this episode where an alien was speaking their own language.
Oh yeah, the bubbly
interjecting into an English conversation. So,
and you know what? Everybody understands what he's saying too. That's the weird
that was a little odd.
I'm always bothered by how every alien... Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. People take Carol's cookies to the adults-only side of the conversation, but with an added layer of internet creep. No, Lacey is fine. Okay, good. I could be Lacey then.
Yeah, Cagney's actually kind of the crabby one.
Oh, all right. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense then. Because Carol is the Force. Apex Comics says, Would it be great if Gorilla was an actual talking gorilla?
Are you sure I'm not an actual gorilla, though?
It would be pretty hilarious.
I'm not
Quick,
sure
Mr.
you're not a
Oit, there's
gorilla.
an ape loose. That's an old Roger Ramjet line.
Oh, wait. Say it again.
Quick, Mr. Oit, there's an ape loose. The ape in that particular cartoon only says the word oit, which isn't even really a word, but he says, oit, 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 oit. Yes.
Good filler. Nate says, I think I'm probably the oldest person on this stream.
Oh, no, you're not, Nate.
Cardinal Sin says, it's unspoken that there's a universal translator or something like that, and you have to read subtitles if every alien were talking. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's where I got mad with Discovery, is because I had to read half the damn episodes for the first season.
That's the least of my problems with that. And Carol says, someone wanted to drown me in milk in the chat last night. It's how you take out Carol's cookies, apparently. Oh, yeah, that is gross. That is disgusting. Okay. Yeah, I understand, Carol. Sorry. Sorry I asked. So, I did find this part of the episode pretty funny. They find out about the Kaylon fleet, but of course, they're only wedding guests. And of course, it's very nice to see all of those Kaylon ships and no one at war.
Yeah, I felt pissed my pants laughing at this.
Mm-hmm. That's the coexistence that Seth was talking about. Even though it came at the loss of coexistence with the Krill and the Moclan. But just forget about that. There's a wedding. So, like Bortus and Clyden's renewal vows, Ed Mercer is also officiating the wedding. Here you get to see, okay, here's the Kaylon. And Ty's the ring bearer. And here you really get to see how tall Marcus has gotten. He pretty much towers over a lot of people. And Claire loves Isaac in the way that she couldn't love a human, is in her vows. And Isaac refers back to a happy refrain where it was revealed that he cannot function efficiently without error unless he has a continued association with Claire. That is the only way his machine-robot love manifests itself. So it's good that the writers remembered that. And of course, we get to see there's the wedding, the rings, the kiss.
Yeah. But did you notice they took the wedding, the way Mercer officiated the wedding from Star Trek, the exact same way?
Oh,
Picard,
yeah, Balance of Terror. Yeah.
Well, Balance of Terror, Picard, the same way Picard did it, and the same way Cisco did it. Or not Cisco, Admiral Ross.
Yeah, because it's all based on actual naval history, so I wonder if they all also took it from naval history itself.
Yeah, I got told not to look up the reason why that came about, but...
Well, because in the Navy, the captain of the ship, they can't officiate weddings because when they're out at sea, that's their only method of doing it. So it is a legal marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these shows are supposed to be sort of loosely based off the Navy. Orville a little more loose than Star Trek.
Yeah.
So this is just the wedding. I don't really have many notes for any of this.
I had a few notes. I noticed.
Oh yes, please do.
Isaac's getting hitched in his human suit. That's a choice. Mm-hmm. I thought the Kaylon moving as one, sitting up and down, was pretty funny. I think at that point I was just desperate for a laugh, for any humor.
Mm-hmm.
I was really underwhelmed by Isaac's vows.
Oh, yeah.
It is possible you will ensure my continued efficiency.
Yeah, right. He could have come up with something better than that.
Yeah, he knows to bring Claire a banana every day, but not to inject an iota of warmth into his marriage vows.
And he also knows when she changes her hair.
just nothing, if even if a robot is that, say, compulsively honest and that structured, they would learn.
Yes.
I would think they
Yes,
would,
and he actually did in that one episode where he was learning how to talk to her while they were on a date. So you're right. He could have learned. He could have done something.
It
but
was disappointing.
Yeah. And of course, we get to see Alara, and that's nice.
That's pretty nice. Notice that's her mother's outfit, where her mother dressed.
I didn't notice that. Thank you.
And I noticed that Claire said, "Are you okay with the gravity?" But I guess the other girl from her planet is okay. Is the difference?
Yes.
Well, I think they've been off-world about the same amount of time.
Well, they've been able to adapt with the other one though, because they did address that, didn't they, Jill? With the security guard, I can't remember.
Yeah. If
Alara
Alara were to go to the environmental simulator every day or something, then she'd be able to acclimate. She'd be able to remain in this world. She'd just have to go back. Like her quarters would have to be an environmental simulator that gives her Zelayan gravity, and then she could be part of the Orville again if they wanted.
I think the doctor alludes to this is the reason why she's not on the Orville any longer. It's almost like she says, right?
It's an excuse. It's an excuse. No, she could totally be on the Orville if she wanted.
Anyhow, I got to get going. I'm getting pretty hungry here, so
okay.
It was nice talking to y'all. Nice there. So, Jill, you're such a sweetheart, though. I don't even know why you put up with half my comments.
Oh, no, you do great. And you're funny, too, so keep it up.
Take care, Gorilla.
Yeah. Talk to you later,
Nice
Gorilla.
to meet you.
Yeah, so, hey, Jill, you might appreciate my stream on Thursday there. I'm doing the Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
With the 3D, the 3D graphics.
I don't know. Uniform. It can't be worse than Frozen, so.
Frozen?
I already did Frozen.
You defended Frozen. That's a cute Disney movie. Okay. Anyway.
All right. Well, so we'll see you, everybody.
Bye, Gorilla.
Bye-bye.
And following that, Bortus gives his speech where his jokes are essentially just what he believes to be the truth. And so Gordon ends up finally saving Bortus's best man performance. And ends the episode on a song. Specifically, it is James Taylor who wrote, "The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time." So, does anybody have any notes for this part of the episode before I end it?
Hi. How about you?
Go for the rating.
Pop culture?
No, not really.
Well, I did watch this twice. Just watched it first time to take it in and took notes the second time. And I got to say, on the second viewing, Bortus made me laugh more and Gordon made me laugh less during the Best Man toast. And I think it's because of the repetition, that's 3 times funny. So, Bortus would say these horrible things and then he would say, "Just kidding, of course," or whatever he said, all kidding aside, And I think it was because of the repetition that he did that like 3 times. It just got funnier and funnier for me. But it didn't the first time. So it's just, again, I really could have used, I don't know, just better writing, better character development, better the characters relating to each other somehow individually.
I am happy they had Yaphet clear to the end. I'm glad he was able to complete the whole season.
Love Yaphet.
I do too. That's why in my slideshow with them, I think. Oh, actually, I didn't. I put this here, and that Halston Sage's credit was put at the end here to keep people from being spoiled. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that earlier this season too with another character that they brought back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what grade do you give this episode, Tiger Stripes?
I'd give it an A. I gave it an A. Yeah, it came up for me at the very end.
And I'm actually being generous when I give the episode a B minus. What grade would you give it, Pop Culture Curator?
Well, I have to say that I'm glad it was a little lighter on the politics than some of the previous episodes.
Right.
And for a send off as a series finale, I'll give it a B.
Wow, that's great. Wow, you rated higher than me. This is the first ever in the history of the show.
It does really feel like a series finale. It does feel like it's kind of, everything's wrapped up and here's a wedding, which everybody loves, and we're going to put a bow on it. And the whole season was sort of made for fans, for the show's fans, with all the callbacks to the previous situations.
Yeah, that was
and
every
characters.
episode.
I don't know how people who had never watched the show, who watched the season, would have felt about it, but I really felt like this was a love letter for the fans. It's kind of a series finale, it feels like.
Yeah, I think they were very, very fortunate to have a finale. There's so many series that just end abruptly and they're canceled.
Yes.
So I think it was great they were able to prepare for it.
That's true. That's true. If this is the last one, then it feels like a last one. And, it was sweet and it was good-hearted. It was really frivolous, but it is kind of a sweet way to end the series.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I arrive at that B minus. But B is good too. We still don't know if there'll be a season 4, but there it is. I think if they do have a season 4, I hope that they do some more independent exploration episodes that don't have to necessarily tie back into anything too deeply. A little bit's good. And the Orville is a very, very fast ship, much faster than any Starfleet ship. So they can get around and explore and have a really great time if they wanted. And that's basically what my hope is. I hope that Ed is happy with this coexistence storyline so we can get back to some of the science in season 4. Of course, I'm okay with some drama with the science, but I prefer it a little bit more interwoven. And the reason why I don't rate the episode higher than I do is because not too much of any real consequence occurs. It's a bottle wedding episode and doesn't advance a lot. I actually wanted this episode. Okay, so I can't make the episode be what I want it to be, obviously. But I had hopes from the tone of the previous last episode that this one would focus on the biggest relationship that matters right now, which is how Ed showed that he cares about his daughter, Anaya, and wants to save her. I feel like he would have wanted to work towards saving her in this episode. And
it would have helped.
Yeah, right? You would think nothing else would be on his mind more than that. Maybe that's why he's so upset all the time.
Yes, that's why he looks so dyspeptic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would have continued the thread of the last episode, giving us a sci-fantasy adventure and a satisfying conclusion. And you could still squeeze in, with that long runtime, you could still squeeze in, a good Claire and Isaac wedding. And even still, though, this episode was all right. My friend would say, "Have you ever heard of that you're making a better episode or better movie?" Or, yeah, I am. I enjoy doing that, though. It's fun. So I couldn't be more grateful for you guys to join me here. Let's look at the chat. Oh, why did I highlight that again? Tea is what we call dinner in the UK, says Dalek. Nate says, did you know NASA invented Velcro? Yes. Thank you. The force that is just Carol. Yes, that works. Hakeem says, then why did you call it tea time? Then what do you call tea time? Oh, okay, so if tea time is dinner time, then what do you call tea time? That's a good question.
And I also think that what he's calling dinner is what we would here in America would actually call supper.
Aha, okay. Captain Time Lord Spock says, Roger Ramjet. Now there's a classic TV memory. Was the gorilla McGilla gorilla? Or was he from a different show?
No, he was intrinsic into the episode. He was a gorilla that just sort of appears. I can't remember why he's there. And he says, oit, oit. And Roger says, it's very nice to meet you, Mr. Oit. And then the kids all come into the room and say, Roger, it's a gorilla. And Roger says, quick, Mr. Oit, there's an ape loose. So it's really worth watching.
So, and Just Carol says, what are those glowing eye monsters? I don't know.
I think she means the Kaylons.
Oh, yeah, those are robots.
Yeah, Lenrod to the rescue.
Yeah. They were the big threat this season, believe it or not. They were going to annihilate all of biological life forms in the galaxy. And then suddenly they decided, nah, this lovely little girl sacrificed herself for us, so we suddenly changed all of our opinions. Lenrod said, those are the Kaylon. Yeah, thank you, Lenrod. Apex Comics says, Roger Ramjet. Sounds like a porn name. Just Carol says, is that Stewie or Brian marrying the happy couple? Brian. Yeah, it's Brian. Yeah, it's Seth MacFarlane. And Captain Time Lord Spock carries on the Family Guy reference by saying, cool whip. Lenrod says, she only has one finger with shiny nail polish. I noticed that too. Just one accent finger that's all sparkly.
I used to do that as a teenager.
Oh yeah, he had accent fingers.
I had an accent finger, yeah.
Nate says, the reason Ed officiating is exactly the same as Kirk and Picard is because that's why the way it's done in the Navy. Yes. Thank you. And Just Carol says, I think I need to have the keyboard or the bowl taken from me. I'm going to cause trouble. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H, Captain Time Lord Spock?
That's another line from Family Guy.
Apex Comics says, security bots at the wedding. They make me feel uncomfortable. Bouncer bots. Yeah, well, that's not even all of the Kaylons. Most of them had to stay on their ship because Isaac invited the whole planet. Nate says, yeah, I think Isaac could have done some research and come up with some kind of poetry for his vows. Say ruin. Now say rune. Bye, Gorilla, says Carol.
It's funny, if I can touch on that topic that was just mentioned. I read Harlan Ellison's most of his books, including the original City on the Edge of Forever. And he was very upset because when he wrote the screenplay for the episode of Star Trek City on the Edge of Forever, he wrote runes, R-U-N-E-S, that they would find that the Guardian of Forever with among runes. And he was upset that the scriptwriters mistook it for ruins.
Oh my God, really?
Yes. That was one thing that he really, it was a burr in his side that he didn't like.
Whoops.
He wrote runes and he was mad. He was cussing, saying, don't they understand what a rune is?
Okay. See, lots of Harlan's quibbles with the episode are are unfounded.
It was
They had to
unusual.
change some things. They had to change some things in order to match Star Trek. They couldn't just adapt his
Well,
story.
I was thinking
exactly.
that too. They may not have misunderstood. They may just have, it may have been budget reasons. I was thinking that too, but he was very upset that they didn't show runes instead of ruins.
But runes versus ruins, I could see that actually just being a mistake. I don't know for sure though. That would be a great question for the production if any
if
TOS production crew are around, kicking around. That would be a great question for them. I want to know. Captain Time Lord Spock says, weddings always make me smile. Good luck, suckers. Yeah, okay. Cardinal Sin says, I don't either. Dalek451 says, now this part actually makes me very happy. I was so delighted to see Alara again after so long. She was always one of my favorite characters, and I was sad when she left.
Same here. I felt the same way. I missed her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really great. And she really does pull the crew together. She really, oh man, I wish she hadn't left.
Yeah, if you remember right, they were just starting to build up her character. You know, she was.
They were spending a lot of time with her character. Not only that though, but she has chemistry with every single crew member that Tiger Sharps was saying was lacking in the season, and she just has it.
Yeah, like a spark.
Mm-hmm. I like Tala, but Alara, man. Apex Comics says, since the Doctor has pointy ears, she should have had tiny wings on her ankles, like Submariner. Lenrod says, their dress uniforms remind me of the Hazard outfits from the Wrath of Khan. Notes? What kind of notes? Says Just Carol. Like, can I nitpick at the set? Sure, Carol. I don't know. Nate says, only some Zelayan experiences physical difficulty off-world. That is correct. It was a condition that happened to Alara early in age. They did not expect her to have this problem with her this young. It was mostly seen in older Zelayans. Dalek451 says, Gordon's jokes here actually got some laughs out of me. And Nate says, rest in peace, Norm MacDonald. Yes. That's why I was leaving it on that last scene for so long, because he was holding up a toast. Linrod, A for sandwich. You know what? You're right. I think I would have been more upset if they didn't show what happened to the sandwich than I am that they didn't do anything about Anaya. C for this episode, and D for the overall season. Fair enough. Very fair. I agree the season was a D, says Lord Thoth. Apex Comics says, the green talking blob character should have his own show. Yaphet, yeah. Well, he'd have to split into two different actors since we lost Norm. Nate says, I think Seth made a big mistake in filming this episode so they could serve as a series finale if they don't get a renewal. He should have filmed it with a cliffhanger and forced Disney Hulu's hand. No, but that's not Seth's way. Seth does not like to end on cliffhangers.
He keeps fans in mind.
Yeah.
He does.
But what he did do instead of cliffhangers is lots of what we might call plot holes, which lots of untied things that they can refer back to in season 4 if they do get a season 4, including Anaya and Nurse Park maybe. We'll see. I had the thought of going back through the reviews to find all the plot holes, but I didn't have time to go do that. Carnosin says, I hope they get another season. Renew the Orville. And I hope they drop the modern politics garbage and just explore and tell good stories. Hear, hear. Yes. I need a video that agrees. I need to clip one. So Lenron says, I hope for season 4 with more proper 45-minute episodes. Yes, I agree. Nate also says episode 1 of season 4 should be Ed saving his daughter. Yes. Absolutely, Nate. That would make me very happy. And Gorella's Random Thought says, what did you make of Kelly and Ed holding hands? I didn't think anything of it. It's not interesting to me.
It just seemed like a nice thing to do. At least it was a little human contact.
Yeah, that's true.
Her hair was brown in that scene, too.
And Cardinal Sin says, I always thought tea time was a mid-afternoon snack. And Dalek451 says, I give this episode a C-, and that is being generous for Dalek. I agree, Jill. The season gave me nothing of what I wanted. Far too much drama, nowhere near enough sci-fi, and what's supposed to be sci-fi. But, of course, this season is not sci-fi, it's science fantasy. And when you accept that it's science fantasy, then it is a little bit easier to watch the show. New Horizons is different from the science fiction we got in seasons 1 and 2. And Nate says, in the South, where my parents are from, supper was around 6 or 7, and dinner is around 8 or 9.
Did you eat both?
I thought that was just a Hobbit thing.
Depends on the day. And I have always heard that afternoon tea is always at 4.
I just know I wouldn't be able to eat 2 meals that close together. At least that's me.
Yeah, well, maybe if they're really small.
You have dinner for special occasions, but supper's what you have every day.
I imagine if you eat both of those meals, that maybe they're like tapas.
Maybe dinner and dessert here. I don't know.
Cardinal Sin says, time is an illusion. Tea time doubly so. Which is a reference to Hitchhiker. Nate says, do you think he knows about second breakfast or 11sies? That's what I was thinking, Cardinal Sin. You read my mind. Lenron said, Seth's normal voice is his Brian voice. That's right. Yeah, part of my problem with the Orville for season 1, when I first started watching it, was that I kept picturing Brian as the captain of the starship.
Who's Brian? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he's the talking dog. He's a talking dog on Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Oh, all right, gotcha.
But once I got over that, season 1 and 2 are my favorite now. Dalek451 says, in that regard, it's almost season 11 of Doctor Who all over again for me. Oh, still better than season whatever is the current one, or the last one. 13 or 12. The original screenplay still won a Hugo and WGA award for the Sitting on the Edge of Forever, says Cardinal Sin about Harlan Ellison's book. Captain Time Lord Spock says, my runes are ruined. Apex Comics says, Harlan Ellison seemed to have a fiery attitude. Yes.
Yes, he definitely did. I highly recommend his work. He's fascinating, excellent author.
Time Lord Spock says, Harlan should be grateful Jill fixed his episode. Yeah. Go to Captain Time Lord Spock's channel for more about that. Lenrod says, she was offered a lead role on another show. Carol says, that's no excuse to ruin my runes. You ruiner.
Sorry, Carol. No, not intentional.
Nate says, Halston Sage left the Orville because she got a role on Prodigal Son. Okay. Carol says, why didn't they film the wedding scene outdoors? Use natural light. Why the obvious set? I don't know.
Yeah, if they're in the simulator, they could have done that, right? It could have been
Yeah.
a beautiful day with sun and.
Well, some people want to get married outdoors, and some people want to get married indoors.
But it looks outdoors.
It looks like an obvious set. It looks like the outdoors brought indoors. I kind of get what Carol's saying.
Yeah, I do too. Nate says, this season overall, I would have given an A. Great. Okay, people. Nurse Park is gone. We must mourn him and move on. Well, I could mourn him better. I could mourn him better if he would have gotten a funeral along with the other countless number of people in that episode.
Or even a mention after his death. I've never even mentioned him.
That's it.
How about class inside the doctor's office? Huh? Remembering Nurse
How about
Park.
3 words? We lost Park. How
Right.
about 3
Goodbye, Park.
words?
Sign on the door. Goodbye, Park.
Right, exactly. There's that one episode where Claire is introducing the new nurse. That's where they could have said, we lost Park, but now we have whoever this is.
He was standing right here when he was killed. Yes.
Now we have Nurse Hopkins.
Yes. Not to mention all the other crew they never mentioned that was on that ship that day.
Exactly. It feels like for that episode, they kind of wrote it and then they were just like, we're done writing this episode. Let's move on. So will Claire and Isaac make a baby? And will it resemble a Borg baby?
Is that possible? Have they covered this?
No.
Is it possible? It's not? Okay.
I don't think so because Isaac is completely machine. He's not in any way organic.
Well, I didn't think they could go through with it, but I guess they can. So I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
no, they clearly have good sexual chemistry. That's been
from what they've
established in other
said.
seasons.
Yeah, from what they've said. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds creepy.
Yeah. Lenrod says they need to spend an episode explaining how the heck Ed's daughter could even exist in the first place.
In a cage.
Yeah, well, that's how she's basically living. Nate says, I do not want Kelly and Ed to get back together. Me neither. I don't like them
Nobody
together.
wants that.
Captain Time Lord Spock says, all the leaves are brown. And Carol says, and the sky is gray. Nate says, supper is what you have every day, and dinner is special occasions.
Yes.
Nate says, that would be a mistake. The sexual tension would be gone. And that's kind of the driving force in the show and the basis of a lot of the funny parts. So, yeah. Captain Time Lord Spock says, afternoon tea is a highly ritualized 4 p.m. cuppa. Confusingly, dinner can also be referred to as me having tea.
Having me tea.
Having me tea. Oh.
Yes.
Oops. I transposed some words there.
You made it a little more correct grammatically, but it's having me tea.
Is it true that over there they do not use tea bags? Is that correct? Is that considered sacrilegious or no?
Oh, I have never been. I'm just an Anglophile in general. I'm dying to go because all my heritage is British.
I was watching a British show where an American offered a British person tea and said, there you go. And then the British person said, they asked him, how was it? And he said, oh, lovely. I could taste the bag. And then the audience laughed. So
wow.
I don't know if that's true.
Harry Potter reference.
Americans have the cheaper versions of everything, coffee, tea, everything, chocolate. I don't know.
Well, it's just convenient to have it in a bag.
Yeah, well, from our perspective,
I do think I've seen it made in a pot. That is, and they don't make just a cup of tea in England. They make a pot of tea and then pour you a cup. So I do think it's possible. Okay, that's nice to know.
Similar to coffee.
Lord Spock says he's using a tea bag right now. Just never put the milk in first. That's the other debate.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people use the teapot to put the leaves in, and then they pour the tea from.
I've seen that, yeah, but still, sort of seems. I don't know what to say.
Well, I like it when I get green tea at the sushi restaurant. And they do the same thing. They put the tea leaves in tea.
That's true, and that's delicious.
It is. And at the end of the pot, I get just a bunch of leaves, and I really like it. I like it. It gets really strong. Nate says, Cardinal Sin, I think they function better as first officer, and Ed needs to move on from Kelly romantically.
Well, but I mean, they're holding hands. They, it was a wedding, and they had their own wedding at some point. It's just a nice thing to do.
And Carol is correct. They dress their indoors as outdoors.
Yes.
Girl's Random Thought says, the reason it wasn't outdoors is because they're in space and space has no air.
Very true.
I was thinking they could have, well, okay, what Carol was saying is that they should have shot on location outside, but just say it was a simulator.
Right, and it was a simulator, right, like they've done before.
Yeah. But Gorilla, you're so funny.
Yeah, I don't think she meant deep space, yes.
Carol, the trees were too shiny. The ground, turf, the lighting was off. It looked wrong. Fix it, please. Yes, Orville production crew, please fix your wedding scene just for Carol.
Next time outside.
Yeah.
Film it right where you've been filming all the other episodes, right up like Bronson Caves and Vasquez Rock, somewhere in that area. They could have easily had it there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Plenty of opportunity,
Everybody can't get a funeral on screen. Yeah, I get that. But when that happens, you just have everybody in the funeral, like a big
memorial
funeral.
service for everybody.
A memorial service for everybody, like they
did. Like
where?
9/11, for example. I hate to use that as an example, but when there's a bunch of people that die, they'll have one memorial service and have a plaque up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a plaque would have been nice too. Something you always see just in the background.
And they list everybody's names. They see everybody's names out loud, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to make up a bunch of names.
When the ship goes down, if the ship goes down and people are lost, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. Absolutely. There was a way to memorialize multiple people.
At any point, yeah, right, that room where they always hanging out and drinking, which I guess is kind of like the bar, like 10 forward. At any point during this whole season, somebody could have mentioned or walked by, and there was a plaque on the wall, and they could have said, "This is a memorial to the people we lost."
Yeah.
Just that would have been easy and quick, right?
Right. I think that would be
and
great.
they sort of close with Park's name on it.
And that would have given some more humanity to the season too.
Uh-huh. But like I said before when we covered that episode, I think the reason why they don't want to deal with that is because everybody's going to question, what about kids? Did they have children on the ship too? Did they die? So I think that's why they don't want to cover that. But that's just an opinion.
That's true. Fallout 4 has that problem too, because they used to have kids in their video games, and then people would do terrible things in the game, and so they made it so that children are invincible in their game.
Yeah, that's something, especially in TV. Yeah, they're not going to. And remember, this is owned by Disney, and
yeah.
They'll back other things, but I don't think they're going to show kids.
Well, they didn't. Like I guess so. That could be a factor.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just an opinion.
Carol says, "Nah. If they have all them nerdy space tech, they could have generated a fake outdoor scene better than that." Yep.
Yes,
right.
I completely agree.
Nate says, they can't make a baby Isaac. He's completely a machine. And Claire is past the birthing age. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, in the future, who knows?
Right? I had thought that Isaac was too machine to make any babies, but I didn't think about
What about Data? Did they ever mention that with Data?
Well, okay, with Data, he created his offspring from his own positronic matrix construction. Like, he created his offspring.
Right, but I mean, can he have a child with a human?
No.
Okay, thanks.
No, he has to create his children.
Gotcha.
And Nate went for a walk. That's wonderful. I went for a walk yesterday, too. And Cardinal Sin says, I just got my TNG Blu-ray remastered entire series box set and my Blake 7 remastered DVD entire series box set. Awesome. Did you do an unboxing? Carol says, how can they make babies when they can't even make fake outdoor wedding? Less fake. I wouldn't trust them with the digital space baby. And anyway, they have Ty and Marcus. They don't need any babies.
And I'm sorry, but being a big sci-fi fan, if they do have that episode, they better have that thing be like a little evil thing going around the ship killing people. That just sounds so much more interesting. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, why not? I mean, if they're going to do it right. Captain Tyler Spock says, I'm using a tea bag right now. Just never put the milk in first.
I didn't even know people put milk in tea, but okay, that's new for me.
Yeah, right? I put milk in my coffee. Nate says, I have some British friends, and yes, they do not like using tea bags. And Dalek451 says, forgive me for saying this, but I thought the whole thing with Claire and Isaac was ridiculous right from the start. No, you're forgiven. It is, well, it's a lot like that episode of TNG where the girl dates Data, but she doesn't realize that, of course she knew that he doesn't have emotions, but she wouldn't accept it. And she kept trying to force him to act as if he did have emotions, and it was just completely terrible. But at least in this case, Claire can accept it. She knows that he doesn't have emotions, and she wants to be a life partner with him for some reason.
I've always thought it was kind of creepy.
And Dalek, some of us agree with you.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with Dalek.
Was it Voyager?
Voyager, yeah.
That's the one that Tupac's in? Voyager?
Yeah, Tuvok.
Yeah, there was that incredible episode on a planet with Tupac and a couple of the other members, and Lori Petty was in that episode. I love her, always, and everything. And she fell in love with Tupac. And she really was crushing on him hard. And you could just kind of see it on his face. He could not reciprocate.
Right.
It was just impossible for him. Really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I can crush on a Vulcan too, but I know better. Yeah. I'll bring some spores with me from that planet. This side of paradise. It took me a second. Captain Time Lord Spock says, what the F am I writing? This is coffee. Clearly still waking up. Sometimes we cheat and put tea bags in the teapot and brew that. Shh. And Jess Carroll says, she just says, my favorite planet is the sun. Wait, who says that? It's a planetary body, but the sun is a star, not a planet. I don't know what this reference is. I don't like saying these astronomically inaccurate things. This is worse to me than cursing. Captain Time Lord Spock says, my favorite sun is the moon. Oh, Alexa? Alexa says that? Alexa has some problems. My favorite line is a circle. Well, I could get into Flatland with that statement, but I won't. Cardinal Sin says, I have a box set series where British intelligence is telling new famous spy to always put your milk in the tea first because the Germans make it that way. And if they see a spoon, you're dead. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I read that wrong. I have a box set as I have a sex bot. Well, now Claire does.
Indeed, she does.
And Nate says, the plaque is a good idea. So I think season 4 should have a plaque on the bridge or the mess hall that lists the name of all the crew members that lost on the Orville. And Scotty R37 says, Data built lol. Yes, Data built lol. That episode, The Offspring, always makes me tear up at the end. And yes, Captain Time Lord Spock built is correct. Because Data went to a conference and he learned a lot about himself during that conference and learned how to essentially make himself. And so he was like, let's do it. He didn't consult anybody, and Picard was mad. You didn't consult anybody for creating life. And Data was like, I don't see any other couples coming to you when they decide they want to have a baby.
Did they ever explain where you got the materials from?
No. The replicator.
Okay.
That episode is perfect. Please do not.
Oh, no, I didn't mean anything bad.
No, I know. I'm just being facetious. Lenron says, I don't drink tea. And Nate says, what?
I love tea. Tea, and I mix it with, I buy 100% juice. And so I'll make it 50-50 tea and juice on ice.
Oh, Nate says, what if Isaac creates a Kaylon skeleton and cultivates skin from Claire's genetic material so that they could have a child that is theirs? That sounds really creepy.
Yeah, it's just
like
creepier and creepier.
Yeah,
we're falling down the creepy hole here. There's no bottom.
Like Ray Bradbury's The Small Assassin, with basically a killer baby. That would be a great episode. Glowing eyes and everything, right? Eyes that glow red when it's killing and attacking in the dark. And I could write a really good episode they'll never show.
That reminds me of Nemesis, where the Borg Queen is putting real skin all over Data, like real type of skin, like not exactly real skin, but like growing skin on him. It's just, that's freaky. Captain Time Lord Spock says, by that rationale, 3PO's dad is Darth Vader.
3PO's dad is Darth Vader.
Yeah, I see it that way.
Absolutely.
I've always seen it that way.
So Darth Vader's a deadbeat dad?
Of course.
He definitely abandons 3PO.
And Matt G brings some pizza into the chat. Nice. James Caserta says, Mom used to drink hot water. And Jess Carroll says, I brew my tea with tears of YouTubers. and Carol, with that comment, you win the most hilarious line in the chat today. And Gorillas had it just before. Oh my god. Poor Jenna DeSora. Oh well, let me say her name right. Poor Jenna DeSora. Sometimes she poured it over her head too. And Scotty R37 says Tupac. Yeah, because it's Tupac. Tupac and Chipotle. So James Caserta says Tank Girl. And Captain says Tuvok Shakur. Tuvok is the Vulcan. Tupac is the rapper. Wow. This chat is so cool. Yeah, I think Tiger Stripes knows that he's Tuvok, not Tupac, but
Did
it's
I
just
say
like it's just
Tupac?
like a you said Tupac.
Oh, that's hard because
I
I
thought you
really
were-
believed I was saying Tuvok. I mean, I saw it spelled out in my head that way. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I will say one word when I really mean to say a different one.
Right.
Oh.
It's hilarious for everybody except me.
And
Oh, I'm
sometimes
sorry.
two-pack means
It's
two items
okay.
found.
It's just an age thing. I think it happens now and then.
But I think everybody's made that joke before. I mean, Tuvok and Tupac. They rhyme. It's great.
Two-pack also means two products bound together and sold as a two-pack.
Wow. Okay, hold on just a second. I fixed my Wi-Fi, but I want to put my Ethernet in the computer anyway. And James Caserta said, I subbed everyone yesterday. You're wonderful, Cardinalson. Yeah, Cardinal Sin has a great channel. If I don't know if my bot's working right now, but just in case it is working, I'll send that in there.
Cardinal Sin's busy making the content all the time.
Yeah, right. And Cardinal Sin is appreciative. And Carol says, it took me hours to get the chatbot companion to leave that chat last time. Okay, so it's getting close to the time where my friends are going to be playing a board game, or actually it's past that time. So, but we are close to the end of the chat, so I'll go ahead and finish. And James Caserta continues telling Cardinal Sin he's an amazing interviewer. Yes, Cardinal Sin does come up with great questions and is always knowledgeable. This show is awesome, says Captain Time Lord. I'm late for my next gig. Thank you. Awesome panel and chat. Yes, see you later, Captain. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. And Carol says, OnlyFans photo shoot to Captain Time Lord Spock. Not this time, just Carol, says Captain. Looks like we got an extension. Still here. Oh, an extension. Okay. James Caserta says, I'm also a screenwriter and short story writer. I would love to read your stuff. At Cardinal Sin. Great. Captain Time Lord Spock says, I have co-created a human and co-built a machine. They are not synonymous. Well, that is only the case if the machine has some form of self-awareness or sentience. Does your machine have some form of self-awareness or sentience? Does it talk to you and tell you about its day and ask you if you would like some toast? Which is a Red Dwarf reference to a sentient toaster. Nate says, C-3PO doesn't even remember Anakin Skywalker because he had his mind wiped numerous times throughout his existence. Carol says, high five to myself. Yeah, you did it. You made me laugh. Sometimes I say the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud. It's on purpose. Captain says the real question is why Uncle Owen acts like it's his memory that got erased. Owen and Goldenrod spent 12 hours together, according to the prequels. And Nate says, and when it comes to Tuvix, Captain Janeway did nothing wrong. And James Caserta says, I'm so happy for you, Anti-Derivative Joe. Yeah, thank you. And Captain Time Lord Spock finishes off the chat. Yes, my VCR sometimes communicates more clearly than my teenager. Okay, you built your VCR? That's amazing. So I'm going to share my screen one more time so we can look at the poll. I haven't seen the poll yet. That's our last order of business here. Let's look at the poll. It should be here. Oops. So what grade would you give the Orville? New Horizons, Episode 10, Future Unknown. So A- to A+ gets 47%. So that's almost half who give this episode an A. 19% give it a B, 28% a C, and only 6% a D to an F, because it really wasn't so bad to deserve that much on that level. So that's great. What great scores.
And for everybody in the chat, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit like.
And I think I'll close. Oh, yes, please do.
Thank you.
I could put that banner. There you go. That makes sense. You're so smart. And Captain says, I didn't really build the VCR. No taking fake nerd credit for a joke setup. I think my teenager is real, though.
You'll know when it talks back.
And Linrod says, my VCRs always make more sense than people do, too. Just Carol says, you make a machine a super AI with feelings and an unnatural amount of physical strength and an unquenchable thirst for RAM. You can never be so sure, though. Watch yourself with that Digiteen. Oh, yeah, because Carol has a teenager, too. Lenrod says, oh, geez. I forgot to lick the luck button. Today it tastes like an egg salad sandwich. Unless you don't like egg salad sandwiches. Then it tastes like cheesecake. And so that's the Orville for several more years to come. We will not have any more Orville. Even if there is a season 4, it'll take several years for them to make it. So I couldn't be more grateful for you and Pop Culture and Tiger Stripes for joining me for this review.
Thank you.
It was really
I have to say, too, with all of my quibbles with the Orville, I'm so happy that science fiction is on television.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yes, at least we're to have something to talk about, right?
Yes,
it's great. That is wonderful.
And I think the Orville came out of Seth's genuine love for Trek, and his frustration with not being able to get in when they started remaking it for television. I think he wanted that very much.
He wanted to be a part of Star Trek. He wanted to make Star Trek, and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
So he made his own.
Well, he definitely would have done better than what they were doing. That's for sure.
And that's what's best. You know, it's like if you can't get on to something, if you're kind of shut out, you make your own.
Yeah, and he did. And kudos to him for that. Great job, Orville, for doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to admit, even the episodes I don't like, they're still miles and miles much better than anything of any of the current Trek. So
that's where I am too.
Credit. Right, because that is unspeakable.
Yeah, I can't really speak to it because I haven't watched any of it. Because I believe when people tell me something's steaming, I believe. I don't have to see it myself.
Well, what makes it worse is when they go back and try to destroy the previous things. You know, like the technology when they don't stick to anything, and it you know, they have to. I don't know.
The deconstruction of what we loved is just
right.
horrible.
They can't move forward. Right. Why don't they just move forward, tell their own stories, leave our history alone?
So I'm thankful, very thankful to Seth for making the Orville. I really,
and Seth did exactly that.
It. I love the ship. I love the crew. A little more humor. I miss that. I miss that season very much.
I think kind of why had a good balance.
Yes.
That's kind of why what?
No, you nailed it.
Oh, okay. Just Carol says, fun stream here. I do seem to always gravitate to streams that with topics that I have zero knowledge in, but you do have great knowledge on film sets because you were pretty adept at noticing that the wedding scene did not look like it was really outside. And Lenrod said, egg salad sandwich sounds good right now. Shame I don't have the makings for one. I've actually never had one.
What?
Not egg salad.
You don't like egg salad?
I've had egg and bacon sandwich.
Okay, have you ever tried egg salad at all?
No, I've tried potato salad.
Because it's basically just, eggs and mayo. I mean, people put pickle relish in it. Never do that. It's foul. Just eggs and mayo. And then you put it in between a couple of pieces of white bread. Oh my God, it's so good.
I'm not a fan of mayo, so I substitute with cottage cheese.
Well,
I'm out. No comment.
New Trek is an abomination. Yes, it is, but it's not even sci-fi. New Trek is an abomination to sci-fi because it's not even sci-fi. It's fairly fantasy.
That particular well. Let's just talk about how much we enjoy having this Orville to watch.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for thank you, Orville, for being better than that.
Yes.
Deviled eggs. Yes, I have had deviled eggs.
And
it's good. I don't know.
Then you would like an egg salad sandwich.
Oh,
yeah, it's almost the same.
I like spices on it. I like it when they put cayenne.
And the paprika, smoked paprika for the win.
And Dalek451 says, I love egg and bacon sandwiches for breakfast. Good taste,
Absolutely,
Jill.
yes.
Yes, food. Wow, you guys are making me really hungry. Yeah, they do. But not me. So, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for joining me, and
thanks for extending the invitation. It's really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, next week I'm going to be doing TOS. If you'd like to talk about that, if it's up to you. All right, I gotta sneeze again. Hold on.
And I'm guessing that it will be the first episode we'll be covering. Everybody will be the Man Trap. I think we're going to be showing them in broadcast order, but Jill can confirm that when she comes back.
Oh, she's got another
Yeah,
punch
that's
going.
fine. Yeah,
God bless
she's
you.
dealing with her allergies, everybody. So that's
Gesundheit.
totally understandable. That happens. But I think we're going to be showing them in broadcast order. I'm really excited. I hope that if you guys are out there listening, I hope you
We're
can
going to
join
do
us.
the cage.
Yeah, I think, right. I think she's able to squeeze that out. So okay, she agreed with me on that part. And then that will be next Tuesday. Next Monday on my channel, we'll have the first episode from the animated series. If you'd like to tune in for that. And
yeah, that'll be on at Monday 9 p.m. on Pop Culture Curator's channel.
Central Time.
Yeah, Central Time.
Right, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, because I gotta wrangle the kids to bed before I can stream.
That's totally fine. So there may be if there's delays, sometimes that's totally fine. My schedule is flexible.
Great.
And so yes, Jill will help me out on that one as well, especially with the slides because she's so good at it. So
yeah,
I appreciate it, Jill.
And people are welcome on the panel if they want to talk about Star Trek. Lots of fun.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Mm-hmm. And thank you everyone in the chat for being here. Thank you to Gorilla's Random Thoughts, who has a channel of his own where he likes to review movies and TV, and especially talk about TV episodes and movies that some people don't like. So he likes to defend them. Thank you also, Lord Thoth, for being here. And Raymond Feliciano with King Dolphin TV. And Matt G is always awesome to have in the chat, as well as Mega Cropper. Mega Cropper, actually, I'm not sure if you've ever been on my stream before, but that was awesome seeing you around. And Dalek451. Thank you to Hakeem and Polly Beater Gamer. And thank you for joining us, Aravic Sonder. And also Rod Thunderheart was listening for a time. And Cardinal Sin, also with the great channel. And Scotty R37 with the Phantasmagorium. Really cool to see him around. Always exciting. Thrilling even. And also thank you for being here, Bird of Prey 5, Kapla. And Dalek451, the Nerdpoil Lifeform with his amazing channel. He's going to do a retrospective on The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time, which should be phenomenal. He's calling it his magnum opus. And thank you for being here, JT Kirk. And I just have a wonderful chat here. Thank you, Phantom Boomer. And Pleasant Valley Picker CA for being here as well. As well as, well, this time I'll read out the whole thing. Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973. Thank you for being here. Also with JT Kirk. I might repeat some names because my brain is addled from allergies. But I did my best today. Oh, that's my cue to end the stream, and it's actually ending perfectly. I'm glad I started early.
That's good.
Really worked out.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you.
Thank you again, Jill.
Everybody, you guys are wonderful.
I can't wait. Yeah, the chat is wonderful. The panel is phenomenal. And Jadzia ain't weak. Jadzia is the bomb, yo. That's right. I might have sounded a little aggressive there. It's true. Apex Comics, thank you for being here. I think this might be your first time on my channel too. Really great. Great to see all these people here. And Susan Dolan's always wonderful and knowledgeable. I think I got everybody. Did I get everybody? Did I miss anyone? If I missed you,
did you mention Lenrod?
I don't know. Lenrod's great.
And Dalek, of course. But
Rod Thunderheart.
Dalek.
I did Mr. Dalek and Rod Thunderheart. Thank you. Yeah, fantastic. I think that's it. And James Caserta, one of my new subscribers. Thank you. And he makes a very good point here. Bring back the cerebral. Yes. Just a little bit. I mean, you can have a little goofiness, but bring something in for me to chew on a bit.
And goofiness can be pretty cerebral, too.
It can
be well written.
I agree. Yeah, you're a writer. You would know that. Almost afternoon foods time. Yeah, me too. I'm getting hungry.
Nom.
And I'm ending the stream early enough that I can actually grab something. I'm fine if you forget me, says Lenrod. Well, luckily, I did not forget you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you for being here in the chat and hanging out. And it was great. Have fun with the rest of your day. Have a great day.
You too.